What is up, guys? Welcome to the Picklebear podcast. We are coming to you on a Monday. Yeah, that is about it, really. I am Mr. Troutman. This is Goose over on my right, Mr. River, and Mr. Special Guest Coner. How are you doing today, guys? Okay, you can stop. You can stop the intro. Stop the music. What is going on,
intro?
guys? Yeah, it's the intro music because we have no intro music. You know what we're gonna have to do now, right?
Do we have to keep that up?
We have to keep that up, but I want you to
really
make an
don't.
actual song out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be
Whenever
funny.
we get on Timcast, because that's our end goal, we'll just start doing that.
End goal.
Ian will join in.
Just it'll be like 3, 2, 1, and then he'll be like, "What's up, guy?" Or he'll start his intro. And we'll just be like,
He just goes right into it. He just starts going. He goes right into a news headline.
"Yeah." So he goes. He'll be there like Elon Musk, and I'll be like, "Oh."
my God.
Yeah, that would be pretty good though. Luke is back on the show. That's pretty interesting.
He is. It's amazing.
I don't know. I get confused about him sometimes because he's anarcho-capitalist, but he was good. He went on this real anti-corporate rant the other day. I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was just weird.
Corporations only exist because of the government.
Yeah, but his view on it was corporations are the government at this point.
They are, yeah.
Yes, but every corporation.
Yes.
Yeah, but all corporations aren't government because
No, as soon as
they
they
aren't,
get the legal
massive.
protections of a corporation, they
Yeah,
are
yeah,
controlled
but,
by the government to
you
some
got-
extent. So I get what he's saying.
Yeah, but you gotta think not all a small corporation can be it can employ 100 people, and it could be they could make, I don't know, they could make little it could be a flower shop that employs 100 people. That would be a big flower shop.
That'd be a big
That
ass
long to
flower.
think of an example, and your example was a flower shop.
I don't know. I was thinking they could make, because you always see the people on the television on the commercials. They're like, yeah, I have a company and we make these little flower pins that we put on our shirts. That's it. That's my company. It produces about $3.5 million in revenue annually. And it's where's that money coming from?
Drugs.
Drugs. What?
I don't know. I was just going to question the possibility of a small flower shop. We're getting that much business.
A small
3.5 million.
flower shop of 100 employees making $3 billion in revenue every single year.
That's Elon Musk's new venture.
How many flowers? Okay, if you say you
Maybe-
charge somebody you're making $10 off of each flower order. If
Well, no, they're not making $10 off
No,
of
they
each
gotta be
flower
making,
order.
like,
These are gourmet
500,000
flowers.
for per flower.
okay, so how much revenue do you think they're making on each flower?
So there's those big flowers down in the Amazon rainforest or something.
Yeah.
That's what they're putting in their arrangements.
Oh, you mean them giant ones that are real
Yeah, those
stinky,
big-
the world's?
Yep, those.
Yeah, those. What are they called? You know what I mean?
I don't know
I
what
think
they're
I know
called.
what
They're
you
in the
mean.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Man.
There's a huge propaganda campaign, and now everybody who's rich wants to own one of those flowers, and that's how they're making all their
Speaking
money.
of the Amazon, didn't you bring up the idea that the Amazon was planted before?
It is a
Government.
Rafflesia Arnoldi. You say that. I can't read that.
Rafflesia Arnoldi.
Yeah, that is the flower. But or maybe. Yeah, it's the stinkiest flower. It's so big, it's stinky.
Oh, it's stinky.
You guys remember? I'd see this thing and growing up in school all the time. I'm like, God, those are so cool. I'd love to see one in person. But
I feel like I
How
was
many
scared
times
of
have
it. I was
you
like, bro, what is that?
encountered
Do I
those
step in? Is it gonna,
in the
eat me?
public school curriculum?
these flowers, a
They're in
ridiculous
a
amount
lot.
of time. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I've seen them too in there.
They-
They're
they
in the
just-
math books and stuff. They're just you
Why?
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're always in the example problems for the math books.
It's if this flower is this stinky and it spreads this much.
It's always something about like the diameter of it or
The
something.
diameter of the flower produces this much stink.
That thing's scary. Like, what if you step in that, your foot get all stinky? Just like imagine.
It's a massive flower. Like I think it. I'll tell you how wide these things are. They're over 3 feet in diameter, and it can weigh up to 20 pounds. Now that might not sound like a lot, but you gotta think. Like imagine how light a flower is. Like if you picked
Is
it.
that just the flowers? And
Like
not the,
just the flower. Well,
not
the
the
entire
whole plant.
plant is a flower.
How the hell's that
I
work?
mean, just the
So
top
is
of it.
how's it get?
Well, like it like grows straight out of the ground.
Where's the
So
photosynthesis?
like yeah, I'd say just the flower. I guess there's probably roots. Wait, what do you mean?
Where's
Where's
the
the
photosynthesis happening?
It doesn't need photosynthesis. The
So it's
entire
like a
thing is a
fungus?
flower. I guess. I don't know.
What?
What?
I don't know.
This living thing does not need energy to survive.
It just does, Connor. It just does. It just exists. It's like, how do these like weird things in the bottom of the ocean survive? They just do.
that's chemosynthesis. That's a completely different process.
You know what? Explain that to us because I can't remember what they use down
They
there.
don't use oxygen. It's pretty much it. There
Well,
you
no,
go.
no, they don't. It's not the plants. Plants don't use oxygen. I'm talking
Yeah,
those.
no.
They use bacteria, or bacteria down there are
And carbon
producing
dioxide.
something. Wait,
something about the geothermal vents on the ocean.
I was saying plants. I don't know.
yeah.
about
What
the
do plants in the
chemosynthesis.
do plants in the ocean use CO2 still?
What else
Yes.
would they use?
I don't know. I wasn't sure if like they had this weird like I don't know. When you think of like aquatic life,
Use
Do you-
carbon
do you- have you-
monoxide.
Have you never like the
We
cellular
always-
respiration and photosynthesis?
Yeah, yeah,
We
I-
do this in biology.
I know all about that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's
oxygen and water don't mix, so you gotta move
glycolysis
the water
and
to
that
make the oxygen.
sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
electron
That's human
transport
stuff.
chain and all that.
Yeah, but I was like we never really learned about aquatic plants. So
Why
like
would they be any
They're
different?
the same.
I don't know. They're like engulfed in water,
They're
so
just-
it's like
they're just more sensitive.
so
you know?
CO2 is floating in the water that they're pretty
Yeah,
much
yes,
pulling
yes,
in.
It is
Okay.
dissolved in the water just like every single other gas.
Yeah,
but
that's all I wanted to
It's
hear.
very
do you
difficult for
think
it to
fish
dissolve in the
breathe?
water. So
They breathe water. Duh. No, they breathe oxygen dissolved in the water. No, he can play. He can play. He can play. I'm sorry. Anyways,
Speaking of the ocean, what do you think about the bloop?
what is the bloop?
So the bloop was, I believe there were 3 stations set up to record like ocean sounds and stuff, and they heard this thing that had they were tracking whale movements, blue whale movements, I believe, and they heard this thing that could be heard for 3,000 miles, and they calculated that its vocal cords would have had to been like 50 times that of a blue whale.
It was a megalodon.
And they've completely rolled out like seismic activity.
Yes.
It was a megalodon. Megalodon.
What? How
Why would a
big do you think
megalodon do that?
megalodon
I've never
is?
heard of this bloop.
What?
How big do you think a megalodon is?
Pretty damn big.
Not that big.
I know. I'm joking. But
How do you know we're not just like living on a megalodon right now?
yeah,
It's the world turtle. We're
Listen,
living on a turtle. You know,
It's turtles all the way down. It's megalodons all
it's
the way.
turtles all the way down.
it's,
We need that on a
it's pretty
t-shirt.
obvious, guys. We live on a giant turtle, and then that turtle rides on the back of a megalodon. We're just hearing the megalodon
No,
beneath
it was an elephant on the back of 4 turtles or something.
No, it's an elephant on the back of 4 turtles.
Yeah,
That-
that's what it was.
So wait, are we on the turtle's back or the elephant's
We're
back?
on the elephant's back. And
Okay.
then there's the 4 turtles are moving the elephant's legs.
Like,
Then what's below the
wait,
turtles?
yeah, what's below on the turtles? What
Dude,
are they
I don't
walking
know.
on?
Are they
Turtles
sea
are-
turtles
Yeah,
or
what's the
land
best?
turtles?
Turtles are on another elephant that are on another 4 turtles or something. I don't know. It
I
just
would-
keeps going.
Well, like, what's the natural like? Okay, so there's elephant, tortoise. What's the next animal that's like that you guys think of? What's the first
That's
animal that comes to your
wise?
mind when I'm gonna say 2 animals. Okay, how about like What's okay? I'm gonna say elephant, turtle, then what?
Well, it has to be.
No, 1 word answer. Go.
You've reached your quota.
You're done.
Time is up.
Like I'm talking, it has to be like an animal that can hold a lot of weight.
Your
So,
mom.
okay.
Are there turtles down in like India?
Yes.
Obvious.
Okay.
I think there's turtles everywhere.
There's
except for
turtles.
Antarctica?
Well, I
There's
was,
not
I was
on
I was
Antarctica.
more asking, are they like prevalent in India? Because is that where that idea comes from? That we're on a turtle's back?
No, that's from Native Americans.
That's from Native Americans?
Yeah.
No.
How did
that's
they know about
that's
elephants?
elephants,
No,
you
wait, not
retard.
the elephant. Wait, is the elephants or the
They
turtles?
just had a feeling.
It's an elephant. I
Like-
believe there may be some
How
animal.
would Native Americans know about elephants?
Listen, if you know you're riding on the back of an elephant,
But you don't know what an
This
elephant is.
I have no idea.
We were
but
riding
I know
this
the
thing
back of
called
one.
an elephant.
what happened was we came over and there was the first zoos or something, and then the Native Americans a Native American walked up
Wait a
to the
minute, we
zoo,
learned about-
looked and they're like, oh!
Why are there
I learned
zoos
about this
before
in
people
school, man. It
showed
was a
up?
turtle. They were like, we're on the back of a turtle, and the turtle moves, and that's why we have earthquakes. Duh.
The turtle's shaking its legs
Turtle's
because it's
just
tired.
like, oh shit, I'm about to move.
The turtle's throwing it back. Grenade, throw it back. What are you doing, Private? I'm throwing it back, Sarge.
Okay, so what is Mars then? Is it like a painted turtle?
What?
Wait, are the planets all just turtles walking through the
Obviously.
solar system?
The
then,
idea
or-
that we're on a turtle's back, I don't think it accounts for other planets. It thinks that they're just like
that we're the
something
only
out
planet. Okay, that makes sense.
that goes back to the Earth-centric theory. There are a lot of those.
I'm trying
Yes.
to think of a sturdier animal than a turtle. I can't really think of anything though.
I don't know, like a cockroach.
So, there's 4 giant cockroaches.
Yeah, dude. Listen, if they wouldn't explode or implode or whatever it was,
Like,
whenever
what?
you,
What's the
whenever you scaled
cockroach
them
on
up,
though? I mean, it's just like.
I'm gonna
terrifying.
okay.
Is it like it's just? It
giant,
would just.
giant centipedes.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, it just keeps getting worse the lower you go.
The animals that
Wait a
were
minute.
living on top of iceberg.
So like bed bugs are called bed bugs because they're like on a bed. Like cockroaches, like
What were
wouldn't they
bed
be
bugs
on?
called before we invented beds?
Huh?
What were bed bugs called before we invented
Oh,
beds?
wrong guy.
They were bugs.
The bug with the leg that go jump.
They invent a bed and they're like, oh.
They invented the bed bug after the bed.
Well, wait, would the bug have evolved to use the bed, or
No,
would the-
we invented the bed bug.
Well, I think
Oh
the
my
bed was around before the bed because like
No,
sometimes
no,
you
the
just
bed
like
bug
lay in
came
some.
first, and then they were like, "Why do we call it a bed bug?" I don't know. And then they invent a bed, and the bed bug likes it. Like, oh, I know what we need to call it.
It's like duffel bag. It's like, what's a duffel and what's a bag? You know.
But like you can lay on the ground a couple times and you can call that area your bed. I mean, maybe I think that's where beds were invented. They weren't the mattress thingy.
How do you
Well,
know?
beds
The
were
first
invented
bed-
because
the
we had
first-
like mud flooring for a lot of huts and stuff, and they didn't want to lay on a mud flooring, so they laid on what was just a table.
on a
really,
down mattress.
Moss.
The first bed was a down mattress.
it was a down. mattress.
Actually,
No,
it was
no,
memory foam.
I was gonna say the
It was
old ones were
memory
just
foam.
like tables,
No.
pretty much.
Yeah,
No,
but they
it's
didn't
probably like
have
a
they
pile
didn't
of
have like
straw or
big
something.
pieces of memory foam, so they had their Skechers memory foam, a bunch of them stacked up, and they laid on them.
And on the 8th day, Mike Lindell said, "Let there be my pillow."
In
Plug and
Japan,
Grug are like picking up their new memory foam pillows from the store.
You guys ever watched the My Pillow commercials when the guy's real drowsy and his back hurts and he opens up his medicine cabinet and then Mike Lindell's on the other side. He goes, "Hey, you're the My Pillow
He's
guy."
like, "You're that guy." He's like, "I am that guy."
I'm not that guy.
I'm not the guy.
Lindell is
They
that
just
guy.
chokes him out. No, but it's a ridiculous commercial. I think it's funny. And then he opens the door the next day and it's Mike's there and he's like, "You feeling better?" And he goes, "Yeah.
Much better.
Can you leave my house, please?"
Okay, so in Japan, why do they have those tables that you have to kneel on the ground to sit at?
Because they just I don't know. Maybe they don't get knee pain when they're older.
Have you ever seen their feet?
Japanese people's feet.
I don't look.
No,
up
their
Japanese
shoes.
feet
Their
very
shoes
often.
they wear. They're wooden.
Oh. Once you get past this, that just reminded me of the
I think
China
that's-
stuff. Keep going.
That's old though. They wear sneakers. as crap
Yeah. Now they do, but they never wore.
They didn't evolve until we got over there.
We get over and dude, you can use leather, right? And they're like, "What? I don't have to walk on
They
wood."
had leather and
Well, that
everything,
was-
and
no,
they
that was-
just didn't make the connection.
I don't know.
See,
Honestly.
you're making a joke, but that was one of the big things about Japan, during that time period, and why it wasn't colonized like a lot of the other ones.
What? Because they were like, we don't know.
Because of their shoes. No, because they engaged in outside trade with the rest of the world.
Well, they would.
The other ones were
right?
Isolation. What?
They were isolationists.
They did, and then they basically said, "Oh, I don't want to get cucked by like Great Britain, so we're gonna start trading with them."
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was the United States.
Britain's like, we'll send you opioids, or you can trade with us.
That was
China.
Oh wait, who did I
China.
say? Yeah, Britain.
Yeah, it was Britain and China.
That was Britain and China.
Yeah, I
I
said
thought we were
Britain
talking
though,
about
didn't I?
Japan still.
Oh no. Yeah, I was meaning China.
They're all the
speaking
same.
of China, and this was like a weird off-topic tangent. I think it was like shortly after or like before the Chinese Civil War or something. No, it was before. It was definitely before. Where they had like foot compressors. It is
Yes.
yes, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's bizarre. That is weird to me.
What is this?
The foot compressor.
I
So
don't even
basically,
I don't even want to explain it. It's so bizarre.
it wasn't. They wouldn't do it to men. They do it to women. But what they do is what they bound their feet. Pretty much is what it was called. They'd take like straps and stuff, and they'd like wrap the feet so they develop, and eventually it would make it just look like you have a big toe because the rest of your foot would be curled up underneath. So you'd walk on your toes, and then
Okay.
your big toe.
Was it like a religious reason or why?
No, it was a sign of
just
beauty.
socially like, this is what we're gonna do. We like this.
The guys were into that.
Yeah.
They were like, I love it when my girl only has a big toe showing.
Well, I was thinking how in like South America they would do a similar thing to infants' heads or skulls so that the cranium would elongate.
That was like Egypt too.
They were like,
Yeah, a lot of cultures did that. And the theory is that they were trying to imitate some sort of aliens, yeah.
Yes.
Were the Japanese doing that, but they apparently the
Chinese.
elongated head wasn't the thing that they took note of.
They were like, you look
at aliens' feet.
you look at that toe. Yeah, dude, it's messed up when you think about it.
That explains a lot.
Tractor.
The Japanese also
Tractor!
It was the
Tractor.
Chinese. It was
Tractor!
not
I thought he said
Tractor.
Japanese.
No, it's the Chinese.
Anyways,
Okay, because the Japanese had all the tentacle
first,
stuff.
Yeah.
tentacle.
Yeah.
The bombs just made it worse. They didn't stop them.
They were like, okay, guys,
It made them more
enough
powerful.
of this.
They absorbed.
Like, guys, I'm done holding it back.
That reminds me. We intended to have a Japanese exchange student on the podcast, but he disappeared.
Back
Did
to
you leave
Japan.
already?
Yeah. What?
Did he leave already?
Yeah. He left
Oh.
like the day after their school
Oh.
let out.
That sucks.
But anyways, he lives in it was one of those cities. I think it was Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
And you can like see the water. Which
Glow
wouldn't
green at
water
night.
wouldn't water retain the radiation more than the surrounding land would?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
You'd
I
think
think
it
it
would
probably would
lose
have
it.
decayed by this point.
It would have, but still that's less than a century. I wouldn't feel comfortable living there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel
there's
comfortable
probably- there's
living
probably higher
in
rates of
Japan in
birth
general.
defects and
Actually,
cancer.
the
Bro, that
bomb-
reminds me of like
Well, yeah, they're Japanese. That is the birth defect.
that reminds me of like
They were all white until we dropped the bomb. Then they turned Japanese.
What have you done?
a fate worse than death. Shame for display.
that reminds me of there's a nuclear power plant nearby, and they used to have like a dumpster. I was sitting in a restaurant eating, and the person across from me was telling the story to another person, and I was just like listening. But okay, so there's a nuclear power plant nearby, and they used to have this dumpster where they would, every time they'd work on something that was hot or like radioactive, they would throw the tools into this dumpster because that's horrible. Like you can't get around that crap. And a special truck would come pick it up and take it to a disposal site. Well, the locals got wind of this dumpster holding expensive tools, and they were like, "We're gonna go get some expensive tools out of the dumpster." So they started like taking them, and like they were just like, "Oh yeah, this is my new good pipe wrench right here," even though it's like super radioactive. And then some guy started. He must have found like a piece of metal in there, which he used to build his flintlock. And he had a radioactive flintlock.
Dude, that is some
Someone
Fallout
must
stuff
have,
right
He
there.
must
what I
have.
was
He must
saying.
have found out it was radioactive. Some guy tested it or some shit. He was like, "Oh shit!" and they threw it out. But I mean, and then him and his wife both died of cancer. So tragic story.
damage is
That's
told
done.
me
the
this
stuff-
at
that's-
work.
that doesn't really make sense to me because, like, was this like an actual nuclear reactor where they
Yes,
were?
it
Yes,
was.
yes.
Okay,
Actually,
okay.
it was the one of the first ones they tore down.
It
Gotcha.
was the first
it was-
experimental teardown.
Yeah. I didn't want to give that out because then, never mind.
Yeah, because like if you something radioactive and you put it in contact with something that is not radioactive, that thing does not become radioactive. It has to be hit by a free radical or a stray neutron or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, destabilize it.
I should invent
So
a free radical
it would
gun.
It would have to be like
Like
a
imagine that,
reactor. to
I
make
have like a
something
gun
radioactive.
that you shoot something and it becomes radioactive. That'd be cool.
Wow! Now you've killed them
Wow.
of cancer 60 years in the
I
future.
feel like the Nazis were trying to do that already.
Like it's like the CIA has the heart attack gun. It's like
Yeah,
I have the free radical gun. Just shoot like you wouldn't even like honestly. Would you even be able to tell something's coming at you, or if
No.
I just pulled it out and was like,
But it also wouldn't do anything. They would just kind of be like, that was bizarre. Why'd you just
30
point
years
that
later,
at
they
me?"
die of
30
cancer.
years later, it's like, you have stage 4 lung cancer.
Dude, the next
playing the
Civil
long
War,
game.
I'm gonna go to the freaking the nuclear site where they hold all these like nuclear tools and stuff. I'm gonna find that flintlock.
That's what I
Oh,
said.
super
when, you,
rare
when you
flintlock.
told me this at work, I was thinking that
It's like-
flintlock's going
it's
to be
a
a rare
legendary
item.
radiation damage if
you get close to me, guys.
in like Fallout, it's like you can like in Fallout 4 they have like a radioactive gun. It's like radioactive flintlock. You shoot him, it's like, thank God. I thought I was gonna die from that bullet, and it's like 10 years later.
Dude, get like triple damage and store your musket balls in like a dead body. You're getting radioactive damage, kinetic damage, and biological damage. You are like the trifecta right there.
It's like, listen, something's gonna kill you here. You're not making it. Then there was
Actually,
yeah.
could you like just slaughter animals and
Oh.
then shove all your ammunition into the corpse? Don't even harvest the meat. Leave it all there to
Yeah.
swell in the.
Yes.
That'd be
Well,
excellent.
I brought this up
So
the other time.
But what I'm saying is, you could hypothetically have people. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm not saying anyone I know is going to do this. But you could hypothetically have people farming biological weapons.
And make a profit.
Oh dang!
Oh.
I'm not saying I'm going to do this.
Oh.
It doesn't sound illegal. I mean,
What would
that,
you?
that reminds me. Wasn't there one company that was making like pork bullets for use against Muslims?
Yes.
Oh no, that
If not, I'm going to do that.
What would you eat? Like, wait, what part of the bullet would be pork? If they
I
just
think
like
you just
the
dip them in
whole
blood. And you're
bullet.
just
Yeah.
like, here's
Wow.
pig's blood
I
on
mean,
my
that
bullet.
was one of the big reasons why India did its whole stuff, the revolt, because they I can never find like a good source of whether this is actually true or not, but whenever they switched to, I believe it was the Lee Enfield rifle, not the bolt action one, it was like one of the first ones, the musket loaders, the muzzle loaders, and they say they greased the cartridges with, I think it was pig fat or something, and all the Muslims were like, we can't do this. Because
it's like,
we'd
sir,
be
I cannot
biting
fire this
into-"
rifle.
Yeah, and that was a big reason behind their revolt.
Not that one.
What is the idea? Is it like that Muslims can't go to their
He
afterlife?
won't. He
or
won't go
whatever?
to
It's
Hijab
unclean
or
like that,
whatever it
yeah.
is.
It's like pigs don't sweat.
Yeah, you won't get your many wives in heaven if you do that. And it's like, dang. Everybody's got
Instead of-
bitches, but me. I'm
Instead
just
of
like,
38-year-olds, you only get 29 8-year-olds in heaven.
No.
Devastated. My day. What's the meme?
My afterlife ruined.
I am thoroughly disappointed. Do you watch that guy?
that
Review
guy.
of the week or something.
Review of the week, yeah. I watch his videos. He's actually pretty good. I really enjoy it because he's just like so matter of fact, and he's just this little dude that wears this suit, and he's just there, and like he's like, let's check out the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and like he pulls it out, and it's like, as you can see, the texture of the you know what I mean?
See,
He's
I don't
like
think the
this-
suit is a bit, because he did a whole video explaining it. That was the only video I watched by him. He did
What,
this whole
him
thing
where he's
explaining how he's like, yeah, I just like this lifestyle of wearing suits all the time.
It's quite fancy, honestly. I couldn't.
Bro,
do
I
it.
would do that. It's just wearing suit.
You would
They're
wear a suit
comfy.
every
They're
day?
comfy.
Suits are not comfy.
comfortable.
I think they're comfy.
If
I
you
like
think a
how,
suit's
I like
comfortable,
how it's just
then
like
you're not American.
it feels snug.
No, to be comfortable, I need to have pants with like rigidity. That's why I sleep in jeans.
Yeah, that
I
I
need
can't.
sturdy.
That is a psychopath move right
Listen,
there.
I would not sleep in jeans, but I wear jeans.
That's why I
everywhere
don't wear
else.
shoes anymore. I exclusively wear boots.
Oh, okay.
No.
When you say I don't wear shoes, I assume you mean boots too. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you're just running around
No,
barefoot. And he's
I-
like, I need rigidity.
I exclusively wear either combat boots or cowboy boots. Cowboy boots are my leisure boots because they're quick to get on and off.
That is true, but you always look weird wearing them in shorts. That's my
You look
problem.
weird wearing them in skinny jeans, which is what I normally wear.
You gotta get those $12 Walmart jeans.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what these are.
just
These are
stop-
bootcut
Stop
jeans.
being skinny.
Yeah, are those $12 Walmart jeans?
Yes,
Are they $12?
I believe so. Something like that. They're not expensive.
Big shout out to Rustlers.
I thought you were gonna say big shout out to Walmart.
Big shout out to Walmart too. I know they're a small company trying to get by, but
They are not receiving funding from the CIA.
yeah. Honestly, Wally World.
Dude, he looks like a Holocaust.
So, anyways, let's hit a topic.
We're kind of rating Battlefield 5 here.
Battlefield 5 is a decent game. It could have been a lot better. If they added the Soviet expansion, I would have loved the game.
Wait, they
Well,
never
they-
added
there's no
Soviets?
if they added, like-
There's
in
no
a World War II
Soviets.
game.
That's
Well,
horrible.
what they were doing, this is what they were doing. They started out and it was just Britain and Germany, and as like the seasons came out, they were going to add different maps and new countries. So then they added America and excuse me,
And Japan.
America and Japan, and they did a War in the Pacific
Well,
expansion.
That was good. I played that a lot.
It was a
I guess
really
in
good one.
Battlefield, it doesn't matter all that much. It's not like you have specific kits for each faction.
Yeah,
You know,
I
everything
mean-
It's
just
a very
kind of-
arcadey game.
There
Yeah.
are Soviet weapons, like there's actually a Mosin Nagant grenade launcher that did see action, and they added the PPK. Or wait, not the PPK. You know what? I might be. I might.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's I can't remember.
No, they did add, but it's
It's one of the more lesser
PMM?
known Russian submachine guns, right?
no. I'm talking about the handgun.
Oh, the Walther PPK.
Yeah, but that's the German one.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
for
the
some reason
Makarov.
I was thinking no, it's not. It's not.
What
It
are you
is the
talking
Walter.
about?
The Tokarov?
It is the Walter.
Or however
I
you
thought.
No, because
Walter?
the Makarov was a copy of the Walter PPK.
That's-
There wasn't a copy, but they were very
Yeah. That's why I was getting the Makarov
You guys talking about
Okay,
that
yeah.
dog
mixed
named
up with the
Walter?
PPK. It's a PPK, like a Walter PPK.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the PPS.
No,
We're not talking about the dog.
there's something else Russian in the game, I'm sure, but I can't think of what it is. But anyways, that's not important. What's important is I couldn't use a Mosin Nagant, and it really upset me.
That's horrifying that there's no Stalingrad map.
Honestly, that would have been amazing.
I wish they wouldn't have given up on the game so quickly.
They did. Well, the problem
just-
was nobody played it.
That's just AAA games.
That's just how the dev cycle
Keep-
works nowadays.
Keep pumping out more games, and then people will keep
Like that's
paying for
honestly
'em.
why I play free to play games now, because their whole ecosystem is that they have to provide content to that game.
Right.
Big shout out
like
to
the
War
Fortress
Thunder.
They're not
Fix
trying
it,
to get
come
the
on, fix the
$60 from
bots.
you. They're trying to get you to buy stuff. Like
Did they
I-
ever fix the bots? I gave up
TF2?
on Team Fortress 2 before
No.
they fixed the bots.
Connor knows what I was
Buy
gonna say.
stuff.
I spent $7 on War
whenever you
Thunder.
could have bought Hold Fast.
I could have.
Screw that. Buy War Thunder. I
It
invest
only
all
got
my
me
money in
through
War
2
Thunder.
tiers.
and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
You bought 2 tanks instead of buying a whole game.
Did you buy a premium?
That I
tank?
would play once. No.
You have to, dude.
Wait, how do premium tanks work? Do I get?
you
like,
get so much more money with it.
Okay.
So if you look, there's a booster with Silver Lions and research points, and if you buy a premium vehicle, it gives you like triple your normal Silver Lions. So if you're running out of money all the time, buy a premium vehicle, and you can raise money so easy.
Because the way they worked in World of Tanks is you get the premium tank, and I think War Thunder has it too, where you have the research points that aren't actually allocated. You have to pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
That they can be used for any faction. World of Tanks has something similar, where they go into like a pool, and premium tanks get that exclusively, but you get a lot more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you still have to pay to convert them, but if that's what you're going for, you get a lot more.
No, you get regular research points
Yeah.
increase.
What is
which
the
is really
population of Jews in Hungary?
It can't
Not
be
very
that
Very
high.
bit.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Like, I
Okay.
bet it's really low now.
See
Now.
now.
Well, who would want to stay? It's like,
It'll be even lower in
I
one
want to
week.
stay in Hungary in general.
honestly, like those
Like,
small
Hungary?
European
No, I
countries.
just ain't.
It's a depressing area, in my opinion. I
All
looked
of
at my
Europe
grandma
is.
and I said, I thank God every day that our family moved from Europe. Like, because it's just like, even if, like, okay, name a European country, random one. It could be the best
Norway.
country.
Finland.
I'd rather live in America. I'd rather live in America.
America.
Just because this is the only country that's actually founded on the idea of freedom
Yeah. I mean,
in all
It's
of
weird.
human history.
it's like finally
But
they're
everybody's like,
"Yeah,
"Where's
I
your
guess."
free healthcare,
Yeah.
bruh? Your healthcare isn't free. You pay for it in taxes."
I'm like, where's your free cheeseburger when you let the government inject you with something?
Yeah, come on. Do you guys get free cheeseburger? No.
No, you don't
I
get.
was actually considering moving to Greenland because there's so minimal government.
I
that I
thought
could
you were
just
gonna
kinda
say I was
disappear.
thinking about getting the shot because I get the free cheeseburger. I was like, damn.
Well, I wasn't convinced by the media, but that cheeseburger really won me over.
Like, yo, you give me a cheeseburger?
No, I was gonna say Greenland. Their laws are dumb, but I feel like they're really bad at enforcing them. So if I could get to Greenland but transport all of my weapons somehow, that doesn't seem like a bad
Smuggle.
idea.
You should.
Just disappear into the mountains of Green. Their capital is like smaller than the towns around us.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's tiny.
Maybe we should move to
I couldn't even
Greenland.
find it on a map. I spent like a half hour trying to find their capital on a map.
There's no worry about anybody taking you over. It's just like, bruh.
He's like, dude, this place
We could
is.
have bought Greenland. We should have bought Greenland.
You mean America or us?
America.
Oh,
Trump
Us.
Trump
Us, like,
tried to buy.
We have the
Greenland.
money to
Yeah,
buy
and they
Greenland.
were like, "Oh, he's gone insane. He's trying to buy Greenland."
Why would? But their own government would just be like, "Oh hell yeah."
Like, okay, everybody gets $1,000.
That's like
Dude,
selling.
listen,
That's like literally
Greenland-
selling yourself. Like why would
Greenland
they
should
do
have been
that?
should have been America's penal colony, where we send all the undesirables to.
So basically, our
You would ruin
Australia.
such a great place then, and just be like, all the freaking
could.
entire
We would
country.
make
Knowing how
America
business
better.
oriented Trump was, he probably would have turned the because like you can see the Northern Lights from up there. I'm pretty sure
Trump.
he would have turned
Trump
that into
igloos?
a great tourist area. He would have really built
Wasn't
it
it
up
already like a tourist area?
somewhat, but because it's so small, like again, their airport is like
No. No.
their capital's I think their capital's airport is the only airport in the entire country, which it's the largest island on the planet, and they have one airport in the whole thing, and their airport is smaller than our county airport.
Where are they gonna put it?
They only have one airport in Greenland,
I'm pretty sure.
That
dude.
is like a substantial landmass, and they only
It's
have
massive.
A single
There is like nothing on the inside except for mountains. Like nobody inhabits the inside because they also
the
subsist off of
dwarves
fishing.
inhabit the inside. The dwarves live
The
in
dwarves.
Greenland.
Okay,
Dude, we should take a trip
what
to
animals
Greenland.
live in Greenland? Like caribou?
Yeah, probably.
I don't even
How
know.
many animals are we talking?
There's
Like,
probably nothing on Greenland. Greenland is just like a piece
Wait,
of
stop.
Neptune or something that fell to the earth, and then nothing
It's just
inhabits it.
a barren
It's a barren
wasteland.
waste.
I'm gonna give you guys the biggest plot
But
twist.
that's why it's so appealing to me.
Atlantis is in the middle of Greenland. It's just it floated up north and then it froze over. You know what I mean?
I see. I get you, man.
What's up with Atlantis?
They're more advanced than anybody, but they.
No,
kinda just
no,
like-
you're not listening. What is up with Atlantis? Muskox live in Greenland?
Yes.
Isn't Atlantis? How far into the Atlantic Ocean is it said
If
to
you
be?
look up on Google what wild
So
animals
Atlantis
live in
was, like,
Greenland, the 10th one is just
No,
birds.
It's,
Birds.
think about the name, Connor. Atlantis.
No, I swear I've been told.
So what do you guys think of Atlantis?
Maybe it's like, I don't know.
Well, considering how New Zealand is theorized to be part of, the scientists are starting to think that New Zealand is its own continent. It's separate from Australia's tectonic plate,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the New Zealand landmass is underwater. But like it used to be, there used to be more there. So I think that there are civilizations that used to be on New Zealand, and that's why the biodiversity of New Zealand is so odd, because like they only have flightless birds. Those are the only thing that walk on the ground.
Wait, they only have flightless birds?
Until we introduced other animals.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then we introduced like dogs, or wasn't it the Spanish did, and then they killed all the dodo, or where was that? Where were the dodos?
The dodos were on different islands, just
We
throughout
brought,
that
and then the
area.
Spanish were like, "Here's some dogs," and the dogs were like, "Oh yes."
The dodo. Yes. Honestly, if you could own a dodo, that'd be pretty
I
cool.
just imagine myself being a dodo, be like, "Dang, look, a boat." That's weird. And then 5 minutes later, the dog just mauled the shit out of me.
Damn, what's that giant thing floating towards me? Well, have you ever thought about like, is there spots like I know like now we can like look at the Earth from space, but like we can't really look underneath it. So like
Hollow Earth theory?
not exactly, but like imagine like there's like humans in the desert living in cave systems and we never found.
What the-
That's exactly
the
what happened in
Afghanis.
Afghanistan.
Yeah. Wait, what, Connor?
Maybe
I
that's what.
just said. So the Afghanis.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
You're
much.
saying like
I
the
think-
whole Earth is just like
I think there could be something
Afghanistan?
like that in Antarctica, because the governments are so carefully guarding Antarctica, and it's a massive landmass.
I don't know if I said this before. Did I talk about my unironic conspiracy theory about Antarctica?
I
don't
don't think
remember.
so.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear it. This is good for the show. This is good publicity.
For the 4 people who watch this.
Yeah, and one is my girlfriend. Big shout out to my girlfriend.
One
Okay.
is this Austrian guy.
So
So we have an Austrian dude and my girlfriend.
after the end of World War II.
Dang, kind of depressed.
After the end of World War II, there were a number of U-boats that were unaccounted for, and of course some of them would have been sank, some of them wouldn't have been recovered, etc., stuff like that.
Hold up. Are you going to try to tell me that the Germans escaped
No,
Antarctica?
no, no.
Wait,
Did you
but
come
the
up with this
Germans
theory
did. The
after you
Germans
played
did take a part
U-boat?
of Antarctica.
I believed this before I played U-boat.
What?
Then you
The
started
Germans
playing
went up
U-boat,
to
you're like,
Antarctica
"Where's
and
the
they were
Antarctica
killing
connection?"
whales.
Well,
They were whaling
I'm
up
playing
there.
I'm playing through the
Yeah,
Arctic
as
campaign right
Germans
now.
do.
Hitler was like, "Oh shit, we're gonna run out of whale
Okay,
blubber
no,
once we
listen.
start a war
I need to
because
hear this
we're
from Connor.
importing our whale blubber." So they were like, "We're gonna go whale in Antarctica. We're gonna take a piece of Antarctica and start whaling."
Imagine you're a general
Um,
at the table, and then like Hitler's like, "Listen, we gotta prioritize," and he's like, "Yes, please get these fighter jets off the line. We can stop all these Allied
German-
bombings." And he's like,
No, the-
"Blubber!
The German
Go
people-
send a whale crew."
One of the German
Squeaking
people's like
on that.
favorite foods was like made out of whale blubber or something. So he was like, "We need to secure their favorite food, man."
Secure the blubber.
We must secure whale blubber for our children.
For the future of the white race. Probably can't say that.
Oh my
Anyways.
god! You have to admit that that would be a good clip.
It's true though, man.
We're
Look it
good,
up.
guys. We're good podcasters. We're the
We need
best.
to hear Connor out.
Okay, Connor,
so
continue.
The whole Antarctic thing about the whole Nazis base. No,
Base,
no,
what?
that's not true.
Base.
That's not base. That's not true. There are not Nazis under Antarctica, but from
That's right. They're on the
U-boats
moon.
operating out of Norway. So basically, I unironically believe that some of them escaped and were operating for years after the war in the Arctic Circle. And then you'll go on and you'll be like, "Oh, but the U-boats, they had poor food storage, and they would starve to death without supplies and stuff." But there are reports of supply ships being ambushed by U-boats who have surfaced, and people with uniforms, and they don't fly the flags because obviously they lost the war. And they are taking and raiding food from people in the Arctic Circle, presumably to feed the crews of the U-boat.
So Arctic Nazi pirates.
Yes, Arctic Nazi pirates.
That's your theory.
Yes, unironically, I think there were at least a few of those who survived.
That's
Maybe
not-
Well, yeah,
That's
if you
not
look at what
far
happened in the
now,
Pacific
man.
with the Japanese, how there were Japanese
yes,
left
how
after
they
the world.
fought. Yep.
Yeah, that's not far fetched at all, actually. And when you watch Kong Skull Island, you realize that's a very plausible theory.
That there's a giant monkey.
Well, no, that the pirates, but
I haven't watched the
What?
movie. I was just thinking of the
Skull
giant
or
monkey.
so on Kong Skull Island, this U.S. and Japanese pilot are in a dogfight, and then they go off course and they get away from the others, but then they ended up shooting each other down, and they crash land on this island, and it ends up being King Kong's island. So, and then he like lives with the
What?
local people for a while.
Him and the Japanese dude and the local people were like, "Hey, yo, we're gonna hide here from
Yeah.
this big monkey man."
Yeah, but then eventually, like the Vietnamese or
What? Why are the Vietnamese?
not the Vietnamese, the Vietnam War is going on. It's right after the Vietnam War, and then like these military contractors
What?
like go in.
Wait, well, like Japanese and okay.
They found a
Japanese and
landmass,
American.
and it was the island.
So, 20 years later.
Yeah, 20 years later. I
Okay.
just used the Vietnam War as a measurement.
It might have been Korean. I don't know, man.
No, it was Vietnam because they had
It could've been
Hueys.
modern, you never know.
They had Hueys and
Well, because movies are always historically accurate.
yeah, no, it was definitely because they were using OD green uniforms. They had then they had the Vietnam era helmet covers on their steel pots.
There was also a very famous World War II movie that used Pershings as Shermans. So, I wouldn't,
What movie was that?
Oh,
I don't remember.
There's
I just remember seeing
one-
the clips.
Something's Heroes.
Kelly's
Kelly's
Heroes.
Heroes.
Kelly's Heroes. Their
Yeah.
tiger wasn't a tiger.
Yeah.
It-
Most movie tigers are not tigers. There's
Yeah.
something,
Except for Fury, and that's why they were so careful. With
That's why it
filming
only goes in a straight line the entire time. It's like, okay,
that scene
reverse,
was so dumb.
forward.
Was that which tiger was that? Was that the one that they was like?
They could have used some CGI
the-
to at
the
least
last
like
tiger, or was
turn
that
it.
like the one that like they, you know how they built one to look
I
just
think that
as
was
a
the last
replica?
one. This one wasn't rebuilt.
This was the
This is
last
like an
original
original one.
tiger. It's the last
Damn.
original running tiger.
Speaking of the last running tiger, what do you think of that video?
What video?
The boys are back in town.
I think it's real.
How are you gonna have that's a
You
tiger
can't-
too, man?
What?
It was a tiger too, just like going down there.
Was there a tiger too? I
There's
didn't
a tiger
notice.
too.
I didn't.
There's a tiger too in a hole. I
Drop it, Lake! Drop it!
see. It's too perfect to be real. I love that video so much, but there's no way it's real. Connor, what do you think?
Well, are you talking about the boys are back in town?
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically,
Like,
I'll
like,
describe the
did you see
video.
those people acted like normal people? Like they were like happy and stuff. They couldn't have been old. I was like, bro, people were like that back then too.
That's
Yeah.
just people being people.
Yeah. So like it's this color footage of
Yeah, okay,
this
yeah,
like
I've seen this.
it's this German
And I see the one guy
like
who-
brigade moving down like pretty much in like a parade moving down this street, and there's all these people waving flags,
Nazi flags.
Nazi
Yeah.
flags.
Right, and you don't think this is real? Why?
Well, no,
I
it's
don't think it's like. Is it from?
the footage is so good,
Or is it
it's
new?
hard to, you know what I mean?
Well, it's possible that it was from World War II and it's been doctored up. I mean,
Yeah.
they do that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
The,
no.
the handling, like cameras were big, very cumbersome back then. Video cameras, at least, and it's moving the way someone would hold like a cell phone in one hand.
This footage is better than the what's the film that it was JFK getting shot? Like it was a lot better quality. I can't remember the name of the film.
I
forget the
we all
name
know
of
what you mean.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like the quality's even better than
Reds
that.
were
Bro, what are you
very
talking about?
potent
JFK
in that
didn't get
video.
shot. He went through a
Yeah.
small compartment door in the bottom of his car and escaped through the sewer.
Do you think JFK escaped?
Yeah.
No, JFK shot himself.
He was like, I hear a gunshot. That's why the magic bullet came from that angle.
Well, another thing about JFK, the way the driver reacted.
He just kept driving the same speed.
He's
No,
like,
there was
"Oh,
this
shit,
whole
what you
theory I
doing
read.
back
I
there?"
forget all the details, but the idea is that the driver, it wasn't necessary. Driver didn't necessarily kill him, but he knew he was going to get shot. Like it was all set up.
So there's this
Which
theory. You know how they
don't
said there
doubt.
was one of the bullets was never found.
Sure.
So a couple things.
I don't think not finding a bullet is like a very.
It was one of those
no, this
bullet
is
bullets.
no. So the magic bullet was found, right? And it was basically, like when you find like a spent bullet, it's smashed because it hits something.
Depends upon what it goes through. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna show sign of going through the air that speed and then hitting a projectile, right?
Well,
Hitting a target.
Yeah, this bullet was still like whole.
It was
yeah,
still
I know what you're
perfectly
talking about,
good.
yes.
It went through his skull,
You can fire around directly. You can fire around directly at ice, and the bullet barely deforms at all, and the ice just stops it. Like this, there are
You're
times.
saying JFK was made of ice?
Iceman theory.
JFK was made of ice.
If you look closely,
it's not out of the question that it just happened to rip straight through without tumbling, without any of that.
Yeah, but it had to have tumbled is the thing.
How so?
So if you look at the trajectory of the bullet, it was so weird the way it went through. So it like went through because it hit the senator behind him, went out his neck, and then went through JFK, and then landed over in the grass, and like it didn't have hardly any markings on the bullet. And the way it traveled, it's like you'd think it would be more plausible that that bullet was planted there, because this is the theory. JFK didn't actually die from Lee Harvey Oswald. He got shot by him first, yes, but the second bullet came from his guard.
Yeah, he got
Right.
jumped up and he shot him.
If the U.S. government was trying to kill JFK, and they have this elaborate conspiracy, they would completely forget to deform a bullet that they would plant and then later recover, right? That makes sense.
I think the government has messed up with stuff before, and then they try to cover it up, like the 2006 volleyball incident. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't. But to go back to Connor's point real quick, it isn't that his Secret Service wanted him dead. It was an accidental discharge from one of the guards, because the one. It sounds ridiculous, but they gave the guy's main job.
This is indeed backwards into the president's head.
This is what happened. So the guy, right? So the one guy on the.
So this is even.
This is an actual theory.
No, hold on. Shut up.
Yeah.
This is even more ridiculous.
No, it's not, because you can see it in the video. Dude.
6'5". What was he doing? Was he just waving around his cavalry carbine?
Yes, what happened was...
He just carried a cavalry carbine
so
with him, right?
If you watch footage from that day, you can see the bullet hit JFK, and then the Secret Service guy and the car behind him goes like this, and he's holding an AR one-handed with his finger on the trigger, and he stands up like that, right at the president, and...
An AR.
And then the second shot, you can hit...
Not a Carcano.
No. But that's the thing. Okay. This is it. Remember what I said. The magic bullet had no markings on it, and they found it there in the grass.
Okay.
What they're saying is they covered it up because they didn't want the Secret Service to look like they were complete buffoons, and that they actually did it. So they said Lee Harvey Oswald fired those rounds and killed him.
So instead of using the most common rifle round in America to cover up that they accidentally shot the president, they grabbed a niche Italian surplus rifle.
They used that because that's what Lee Harvey Oswald did. Lee Harvey Oswald fired the first round, but the second round was a misfire that killed the president.
I thought you were just saying
No.
This was some guy who just ND'd into the president.
Like, oh my God.
That's why I was so incredulous.
It sounds like a movie. Oh my God, we killed the president.
I just ND'd into the president. He is dead.
It's like he's going back to his college buddy that's like helping the Canadians right now or something. He's like, dude, I need your help right now.
That sounds like a Family Guy cutaway. Lois, back in the 60s, I was in the Secret Service. They kicked me out because I killed JFK.
That's almost as bad as the time I accidentally shot JFK. No, but if you look at the footage, you can see the guy. And this is the messed up part. Basically, the regular guy that should have been in that car holding the gun, he was sick that day, so he couldn't do it. Like they're like, we need somebody else to stand in for him. So they sent this guy. His main job was just to sit there and refill the car when it shows up. They gave him a gun, and they're like, you sit in this car and you guard, okay?
If that's true, then I definitely think that happened.
Yeah, there's so much evidence to support it.
What do you do? Oh, I refill the car. Here, take this. You go sit next to the president. Oh,
take this. Nothing happens. You just have to stand there pretty much and look scary, and nobody's going to mess with them.
It's not too far-fetched considering how Franz Ferdinand died, because his driver took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
And Gavrilo Princip just happened to be there.
Hold on. This is completely different. This would be like if this driver took a wrong turn and then fumbled with his handgun and accidentally fired 2 rounds into both Franz Ferdinand and his wife.
Yes.
He accidentally fired 2 rounds out of a single action revolver.
Bang. Oh, sorry. Pulled an Alec Baldwin on him.
Tries to pick it up. Oh, sorry about that. He draws the hammer, shoots it the second time.
Sorry about that. I did this.
You apologize to the Archduke.
The guard comes over. What did you do? Oh, I did this.
Gavrilo Princip just like walks around the corner, sees what happened, takes credit for it.
So, did they kill him right there, or did he survive after he shot?
I think he survived for a little bit in the hospital and then he died.
I think, was it him or his wife? Like the one fell on the
I
other
know,
one.
his-
and
I
then
think
they
his
said
wife
something?
died.
No. I'm talking about the shooter, not the victims.
Oh no, Gavrilo Princip, he survived. He was imprisoned. I don't know what happened to him after
What
that.
what do they have to say? He's like, well,
I
guys,
think
sorry, I
basically,
started World War
I think
One.
They executed him. He
They
was
did.
hung.
I don't remember his seeing it. I think you're right about him being hung. Actually,
I mean, that would make sense. It's like, dude,
He was
you
hung?
really screwed up. They have him up there, getting ready to go, and it's like, dang, man, you're hung. He's like, thanks. Then they drop him.
That's how they make going to the gallows just a little easier for people.
It's like, dude, I just wanted to let
Well,
you
I
know.
mean, back in the day, it was like a public show. So they're just spicing it up.
Can everybody give it
Goddamn.
up for Gavrilo Princip, the killer of...
Kids nowadays have nudity in their executions. Back in my day, executions were clean.
They
Just
used
as
the
God
guillotine.
intended.
They use the giant bagel guillotine. Yeah, but I don't know if I 100% like believe that JFK was killed by the
By an ND.
by a negative discharge
A negative discharge.
or negligent
Negative discharge.
you know, his gun
Sucking bullets.
It's just a,
his gun changed polarity and fired.
That is like...
yo, reverse railgun. Just super powerful magnets that pull projectiles towards them. So people don't know where the shot came from.
JFK.
You have to individually set each projectile like out
Yeah.
behind the person you're trying to...
The
Like
biggest
several miles out. It takes like 2 days to set up.
Like
a
Harvey
single
Oswald.
shot.
He has like a second gun. Like he ran out of ammo with the Carcano. He's like, you have to use the reverse polarity gun and shoots him with it. It's basically the free
Negative
radical
discharge.
yeah, the negative discharge gun. Oh shoot. Anyways, yeah, a negligent discharge. But yeah, the JFK shooting is just so weird. And then like Trump is going to release information about it, and then like the people at like the Department of Justice are like, never mind, I'm not going to let you do that.
That was the CIA, I think.
Was it
Wasn't
the CIA?
I think so.
I thought it was
He
the
was
DOJ.
also going to pardon Edward Snowden, but that never happened.
Who's that?
Who's the other guy? I can't think
Edward
of the other
Snowden?
guy's name.
The guy who leaked all the documents from the NSA because they were basically they were spying on us without having warrants,
Oh,
and
okay.
he had
Listen-
to, he was convicted of treason or something, and he had to run to Russia, and I think he still lives there today.
If you meet anybody named Jesse, call him Juicy.
Oh, there's a kid named Jesse in my grade.
Call him Juicy.
Smollett.
Yeah, Juicy Smollett. I was thinking of the other guy that leaked documents that the government wants to kill. Who is he? He released the WikiLeaks.
Oh, that guy.
I can't think
I
of his
can't think
name.
of his name.
Assange, Julian Assange.
Yeah, Julian Assange. I was thinking Juicy Smollett, and I'm like, yeah, that's not him. It was like, imagine you going in court, and then the judge is like, Jesse Smollett, and he's like, actually,
Actually, the name's Juicy.
Juicy. It's like, that's dude. If I was a judge, I'd be like, I don't know, man, kind of cringe. Be like, I'm not gonna call you that.
Guilty.
Guilty. It's like, man, you are not helping your case.
So, anyways, Antarctica. I kept bringing up Hollow Earth theory as a joke, but there are people that believe that Hitler escaped to the center of the Earth, or not the center, but like so the idea of Hollow Earth theory is that whenever you go below a certain threshold, gravity reverses, and instead of becoming because there's centrifugal and centrifugal, whatever they are.
Yeah.
One is like one way, the other's the other way. So the idea is the gravity switches over,
Okay,
and
so
that's where Hitler went to.
So you're basically walking on
Yeah, it's like
the
how
roof
it's
of
like
the
it's like
center
how
of the Earth.
space stations would have to theoretically work. They'd be spinning fast enough to create a gravitational pull.
Well,
That's the
Oh,
idea.
okay.
it's a fake gravitational
Yeah.
pull because of the momentum of you
Yeah.
trying to move. So
Anyways,
you're kind
the idea is that Hitler escaped to a fascist utopia in the center of the Earth.
So he-
How he
And
did
the-
it
and the
was just like,
gateway
dude,
is
if
in
we keep digging
Antarctica.
to the bottom of my bunker, we'll find it.
oh,
a
but wait.
fascist utopia.
A fascist
So
utopia.
Yeah, it's-
Kaon.
Yes.
He escaped to Kaon.
He went and actually he's in Middle Earth right now. He's in Lord of the Rings.
That's another thing. People think that Middle Earth is real.
Really?
And that
Israel?
That-
Israel.
What,
I think
the
that
author
Tolkien
was
just
like-
documenting. Or not.
That's right. In the Battle of the Somme, Tolkien went to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, guys, what's going on here? I'd like to write about this in my book."
But I think
It's like people being like, "I think Harry Potter's real." I think Dr. Seuss was on to something.
Whoa.
When I was little, I'm pretty sure I remember this big cat showing up and taking me.
Oh my god, this
Taking
guy,
me and my
this
sister.
literally, these kids are literally me.
I think to some extent it's true that there are like secret societies, or rather, just stuff like that, living beneath us in tunnel systems, and I think that Antarctica is probably an entrance to one of those tunnel systems.
So we
Are
go
you
back to cave
insinuating
theory.
Mole people.
Mole people?
You could look at them that way.
Wasn't that on a conspiracy chart? And it was like
I don't know.
it was like level 3 anti-Semitic.
Have you watched?
Semitic mole people?
Have you watched Wendigoon's Iceberg?
I don't know, but
It's a 10-hour-long video. I sat through it the past few days.
no,
and
but
listened to it
like
all.
there's this conspiracy iceberg, and the deeper you go, the more anti-Semitic it gets. But the problem is, but it's not. It's just like different levels of like level 9 included that the government was spying on us, the NSA, and it's like, dude, that really happened, and the woman had to change it.
Well, a lot of those.
She had to
like,
change it because it wasn't a conspiracy anymore, Ethan.
Just because it's a conspiracy doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah, but she was saying that these people are racist for thinking this, but it was true. Like it wasn't even a lot of
I
it didn't
think
even
that,
matter. Like the
and
one
I'm
was
also
Bigfoot.
racist, but they're not connected. That's
Bigfoot was a
joke.
level 3. There
He
was
was a
5
level 3
le-
what?
It was
He
a
was a level
3.
3 Yu-Gi-Oh card. What
No,
was?
it was a level 3 anti-Semitic level. It was like the third level.
Wait,
vague
out of how
memories of
many?
this. I can't quite
Out of
place
like
it.
10 tiers,
I
so
gotta-
Bigfoot is like 30% anti-Semitic.
I'm gonna pull up the thing because it's
Bigfoot is
ridiculous.
30% anti-Semitic. We gotta bump those numbers up.
Let me see.
I shoot kids in the face.
Iceberg.
You pulling that up now?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try finding it. This might be it.
We got dead space.
Like you were just the worst.
I'm trying. It's not. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. Okay, you ready? These ones are considered, okay, level 3. Reality denial. This is
Is that
actually,
that
we're
we're in a
going to,
simulation?
okay, I'm going to start on level 1.
There's a tank. Shoot the tank with the plane. Whatever.
Okay, ready? So if you're a believer in the deep state, flat earth, George Soros, the Illuminati.
Wait, the belief that George Soros exists?
No, it just says George Soros in this weird font.
Do you actually believe George Soros exists?
If you believe that reptilian overlords... Okay, so if you believe that the deep state exists, and then you are equal to the reptilian overlord theory. So, but then this is when it gets weird. The second one marks the anti-Semitic point of no return. So if you believe in 5G, soy boys, or...
Wait, so only the top tier isn't anti-Semitic?
Bro, 5G is obviously real. I have it on my phone.
Biden is a robot, moon landing fake. I don't know why the moon landing being fake has to do with anti-Semitism, but Okay.
Because the Jews landed us on the moon, obviously.
Okay.
The Nazis did.
This is when things.
Exactly.
This is when things get really good. Level 3. Greta Thunberg is a time traveler. Michael Jackson is still alive. Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer.
No, I remember one of these was proven like unequivocally.
The Ted Cruz one.
No, I remember this, and one of them
You
was
can't stop
actually
me.
True.
I have all of Texas.
Wait, he keeps going to Cancun, doesn't he? What's the murder rate? Have there been any unsolved murders in Cancun?
Oh, I can guarantee it.
I can guarantee it,
so-
man. He's a Zodiac killer.
Alien abductions. That's a conspiracy. Kylie Jenner is a clone. Cryptids. Tupac is alive in Serbia. And my
Why
personal
Serbia.
my personal favorite, the Titanic never sank.
That one, there's actually a lot of evidence for, because the
Oh my.
what was the sister ship called?
What's it called? Like Britannic? That sounds right.
I
Doesn't
don't know.
that doesn't
No,
sound right?
No, it was the Titanic and some other synonym for large.
But
Yeah,
the
something
They,
like
they were
that.
really
But-
creative with
start
their
with an
names.
No.
Massive.
mega
Large. No, but like
The large
Ran out of
barge.
creativity, just called it big ship.
I called it the large barge.
No, but there was
Large.
evidence that they just changed
Scuttle.
the badging. or
And they used
whatever
it
it's
for
called.
insurance money.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Are you
They used it
serious?
for insurance money.
But
And
like,
to
how do
appease
they
the
explain the
investors.
giant ship on the bottom of the ocean?
Because they actually sank the
they
other
sank
one.
a ship.
They sank the other one, but they set the iceberg up.
They set the iceberg in place.
Yes.
Like they had a towboat,
They
pull it
tell-
out, and
they-
they're like, "Okay, ram it full force right
How
now."
Yeah.
could you keep
Well,
that secret? With,
No, because
like,
they had a lot of engineers, like so many engineers that this couldn't just be a coincidence. Referring to the surviving ship, which would be the Titanic. Yeah, the Titanic by the other name, because it was the other name. They were sister ships. They weren't built identically, but they were
Yeah, they had
very
different
similar.
like badging and what.
no like the layouts were just slightly different. It's like comparing a Camaro to a Trans Am. They're very similar, but they have slightly different layouts.
You're putting it in words he can understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, I was getting this upside down. That makes sense because I was like, "This stuff's stupid." Okay, so these are the
Were
ones.
you reading the iceberg top to or bottom to top?
No, I was reading it top to bottom. She put it upside down.
Oh.
It's stupid.
What is the one that was actually proven true?
Oh,
And
these
they
are the ones.
removed it.
Okay, these are speculation lines. So she has these as being speculation. Okay, Big Tobacco lied about cancer. The NSA has mass surveillance.
That's true.
The tobacco one. The idea is that tobacco it
It prevents
staves off-
cancer.
No, it staves off schizophrenia, and that's why schizophrenia and mental illness is on the rise as tobacco use declines.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
which
so
I guess it makes sense because it does have an effect on your brain.
To cope, you could be like, dang.
Yeah, exactly.
Cope.
I could either deal with this or I could smoke.
Okay. She labels these as I don't know why she has the speculation line. It says speculation line. Then there's this little tag that says things that actually happened. Tuskegee experiment, Watergate, big oil push climate disinformation, and COINTELPRO. I don't know what that is.
What's the Tuskegee?
Oh, that's when they were taking. That's the one that Biden mixed up for the airmen. It was like this all black
Yeah.
World War II group, but he convinced them with these like black people that the U.S. government was giving syphilis, and like he was
Oh, I
like
remember this
atrocities like the Tuskegee Airman.
There were fighter pilots that all had syphilis.
I can't stand these World War II fighter pilots.
They had
This is
syphilis. They
impossible.
flew it everywhere. No. Okay, but like leaving reality includes UFOs, Denver International Airport, the Jimmy Hoffa disappearance, JFK assassination, Epstein didn't kill himself. We have questions about those. I don't know Jimmy
How else
Hoffa.
do you explain the Denver airport?
It's just the Denver airport. It's weird. Who's Jimmy Hoffa?
Yeah, but like the idea is that there's a lot of Freemason connections, and the whole because they're like hallways and stuff that leads nowhere, and it makes no sense. unless you have the context that it is the top layer of some sort of underground bunker or something, which there are plans proving that it is, that there is a layer that the general public does not know about.
It's probably like a nuclear bunker or something.
Yeah.
They say that they're thinking
But,
that
like, the
feral
paintings
people.
are just weird.
They say this is dangerous to yourself and others. That if you believe that feral people live in forests.
Well, that's just true.
Yeah, like there's bound to be some feral person in a forest. I mean, like there's wolf people.
Well, feral children, that's like
How
a
you talking
real
about
thing
wolf
that
people?
happens.
What?
Yeah, like there's a kid that was raised by a wolf.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I haven't seen one like in around.
Yeah, it happens.
It won't
though.
happen as often in America, but like in
Like Russia,
third world countries.
the
In
Russians.
Siberia, I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, it happens a lot. This is
Lots of people raised
Maybe
by
even in
wolves.
like northern Canada.
okay, but this is okay. So if you believe in any of these, you are pretty much against Jewish people. So if you believe,
I should probably get all of these then.
do you believe in
Make a
QAnon?
checklist.
No, absolutely.
Do you believe in a
not.
deep state?
Sometimes.
Do you believe in flat Earth?
No,
Do you believe in the protocols of the elders of Zion?
I've never heard of
What the
that.
hell is that?
That sounds like something from the Matrix. Honestly,
That sounds Jewish
It's
in
It is
nature.
Jewish, Zion.
Yeah.
But I don't know what
do
it
you believe in the
means.
Illuminati?
No.
The Illuminati did exist, though.
It's literally on the
Elaborate.
dollar
Like-
bill, yeah.
No, like Thomas Jefferson was a member of the Illuminati. I'm not making that up.
The theory is whether or not it persists to this day.
Yeah.
And has enough as
Yeah,
much
like-
influence as
Okay.
people
It
say does.
definitely existed back then, but like they tried killing him. Actually, the Illuminati. Anyways, that's okay. Enough of that. Do you believe in reptilian overlords?
Of course. That's obvious.
Do you believe Great Replacement?
No.
Secret
Unless I
satanic
do.
rituals? Like yes,
Who's doing it?
no, just in general. Like they're definitely happening.
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you believe in George Soros?
Who?
George Soros?
I've never heard the name.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no. Never heard the name.
Oh, okay.
That was the Jew that like sold other Jews to the Nazis, and that's how he made his money.
Really?
And now he's
I-
like a billionaire.
Yeah, he
I've
like.
never heard of that.
Do you believe in adrenochrome?
What if I told you I didn't know what that is?
You seriously don't know what adrenochrome is? So that remember the stuff where they were like Hillary Clinton is drinking the blood of children?
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's the adrenochrome.
That's okay. So why not just say Hillary Clinton is drinking
There's
the
a
blood
lot
of-
of like,
Because it's
theories
just
about
the
that
blood
crap.
There's more
adrenochrome.
to it. But that's
Okay.
like proven true to a certain extent.
Yeah, they are actually using blood. Like a lot of these, not Hillary Clinton in specific. I don't know about that, but like there are actors and actresses in Hollywood.
Yeah, there
I
was
mean, no, I
literally
saw-
one
I
made a
saw-
poster
I
where
saw
they were
a
like, I was
business.
just drinking my fiance's blood or something here for a ritual or something. I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
say it's
"Bruh."
good for skin.
I
Your
saw a
skin.
business where like they transfuse blood from
Yeah.
like, younger people to older people.
Yeah, but you don't drink it.
No, you don't drink it.
That's like drinking like really bad water.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
just,
stuff
it's
sucks.
just gonna kind of hydrate you. I don't know what else you get from it.
So dehydrated because I've been drinking nothing
How
but
you get the
human blood.
shakes?
The shakes.
Yeah.
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate.
That's
definitely.
proven true to a certain extent.
Pizzagate.
A lot of these are proven true somewhat.
Honestly, dude, we need to look at Pizzagate more. Like
A lot of stuff Alex Jones says, because he's right about most of what he says. It just doesn't come out until like a decade later.
You believe that George Floyd was a crisis actor? I brought this up, but did you ever notice that, like, in the footage, like, nobody wears a mask? And this is right during the height of the pandemic.
I mean, do you think everybody was just like today?
Not wearing a mask?
Well, and
No,
it,
I mean like
Like-
it happens. I feel like during that time you see a lot of masks because people were trying to, I don't know, say. Look
Well,
at me,
people
I'm
still
wearing a
thought that
mask."
it, like, people still thought it was, like, when it first started, like, I wore a mask, you know, because I was like, I don't want to, you know, but
You're
then, like,
yeah,
it came out and it's
we
like,
don't know what's up with this.
it's like nobody knows what's going on, and, like, this isn't
Yeah,
right.
So do you think those people understood exactly what was going on? And
Well,
so
no,
they-
because remember, it was like those
Yeah.
riots hit like maybe the first month in. Like people were still relatively like, yeah, this is
it's
serious.
really-
I remember
really kind of
eating
a
stuffed shells
non-issue.
and watching Annapolis burn on the TV. That was just fun.
Those were
And-
wild.
May 29th, 2020, how they were actually trying to burn down the White House.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not considered an insurrection.
Yeah, big shout out to May 29th. main insurrection that happened? Well, no, actually, they caught fire to a guard station that was connected to the White House, and then they caught the church, the president's church, on fire.
I remember that. There wasn't much said about it.
Exactly, because the media was covering
They
that
were
up.
just like, "Oh shit, the church burned."
Now, I'm all for violent insurrection. As long as you're attacking government property, I'm all for it. Go ahead. But the double standards that exist are horrifying.
Unacceptable.
Ethan, I'm all for violent insurrection.
I am. That's why we have the Second Amendment. People don't like to admit it, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
true.
fair.
You know
That's
what?
True.
Honestly, what we need to do is find a government tea factory or something.
Arizona tea.
No, we can't do Arizona.
Arizona-
Not government.
Don't do that. I love Arizona. I love Arizona tea. Arizona, big shout out to Arizona tea.
Support your local Arizona tea.
Support your local Arizona.
Funniest moment of the podcast because there's never been anything else as funny on this podcast.
This podcast is hilarious. It is the funniest thing you guys have ever had. But anyways, we need to discuss a rather urgent thing.
Mel's Hole.
I'd
Please
like to
no.
touch up on Mel's Hole because I
No.
don't think we've ever talked.
No.
I'd like to touch up on its hole too.
I don't want to talk about Mel's.
Mel, do you believe in Mel's Hole?
No.
Anymore, I do.
Yabba. Yabba da baba.
Maybe there's more information that you have that I don't, but I can't believe in it.
I know
at
it's
this
hard to
point.
believe. I don't know if you can believe all
I
of
can't
it.
believe a beatboxing worm came out
No.
of the
It looked more like a
That's the
seal
only-
from what I
That is the only
heard
part
now.
that I
a
believe in.
beatboxing
The
seal is
beatboxing
even
worm.
weirder.
The beatboxing worm coming out say yabba. Yabba da baba.
No, it was like it was communicating through a beatbox, but it was like
Dude, no. It was peace.
River, drop some
It was
sick tunes. Yeah, that's what it was doing. It like came out and it was going. Like, what would you do? Like, if you're a Native American, and then like you're doing like your spiritual like thing next to this hole, and then this thing just crawls out and goes.
I can't beatbox.
I'd be like, "Yo, this thing's
Whoa.
spitting."
Spitting.
Oh my
I
god!
remember Laz walking up to the front of the class in Mr. Yates's and talking about Mel's Hole.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He talked about the beatboxing worm.
What did he like? Did he? Did
He
he?
told the whole story. And he's like, and then this beatboxing worm.
What
crawled
did?
out."
What did everybody say?
Dude, they were all infatuated with the beatboxing worm.
Really?
Yeah.
See, most people are following you. They somewhat believe the story until you get to the worm.
I know.
It makes some sense until you get to the worm.
Well, apparently it smelled like ozone. The worm and like the sheep when they pulled the
Ozone.
sheep out.
Dude, why did
Yeah, it smelled like ozone.
isn't ozone just O3?
No, it's what you fill your fridge up with.
O3.
I think so.
I don't know.
It smelled
It's
like
just 3 oxygens.
yeah, but it smelled like you just punctured your fridge and it's leaking ozone.
Dude, he's
I've never
beatboxing through
punctured
that.
my fridge before.
No, like my,
Is this a common?
well, I was over.
You're trying to load your fridge on you.
Well, no, I've smelled it
Just
before, and it's
stab it.
because like I got a buddy that does like electrical stuff, and he does like refrigeration and electrical stuff. But like he's like, you can't leave these things filled up. So if you use them a little bit, you got to let the rest out. And like he's like, I don't want to do this the proper way, so I'm just gonna do it my way. So he just opens it up, and it's just shooting ozone out this like propane tank.
Yeah,
And
I'm
he's
pretty
like,
sure
"Yep,
it's-
that's ozone. That's the stuff. It doesn't hurt the environment, but you're not supposed to do that." I went up and like, dude,
It's not like
it was
kills
freezing.
ozone layer, but it
Like
kinda
I walked
does.
back out and it was covered in ice.
I thought it was Freon that's in refrigerators.
They changed it.
Yeah, it's different. What's in your car air conditioner and what's in like fridges and stuff is different because the stuff that like in your fridges in your house is the stuff that does not hurt the ozone layer and all that stuff. But if you like break your car air conditioner, it's like gonna destroy the freaking
Environment.
yeah. But it's more efficient with that stuff, so that's why they use in your car, so you use less power.
It's
from
more
your car.
efficient at destroying the ozone. No, but I want to know who punctured the hole in the ozone.
Who punctured the hole in your fridge?
Probably the same guy that destroyed the ozone layer, but no. But when you think about it, like when ozone like comes out, like that like propane tank, it got covered in ice immediately.
Yeah, that is the ideal gas law.
So, what if, like, we know this hole, right? So okay, guys. I want you to put on your conspiracy caps here and actually like consider this, okay? Connor, I know
It's
you.
like
I know
Ice
it's
Age.
against everything you stand for.
Does this explain the worm?
No, but I'm.
Dude, if it
it's,
doesn't
Why didn't the
explain
worm
I don't
freeze,
want
bro?
any
You
part
have
of
to
it.
explain the worm. You can't just gloss
I
over
can't.
that.
I don't know about the worm. That's like
and how do you say you believe this?
it's.
The worm is the
There
the
are some
key
things that are
thing
so
needs to be-
beyond what
Like
we
a
know.
beatboxing worm.
A beatboxing worm coming out of a sheep is like okay. Listen,
I believe that there are divine things that are intentionally beyond our understanding, but I find it hard to believe that God sent a beatboxing worm to the earth
To
to
communicate with
communicate
Native Americans.
Americans exclusively.
well, they also it also talked. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's like God only put so many holes in. So
Bruh.
That's a quote.
okay, but I was gonna say I wanted to add this. So with the hole, they also Mel found a Walter P-38 with its whole original holster.
In the hole.
So why?
No,
why
it was
wa-
sitting
why
on the
was
ground
this-
near the hole. It was on his property. He'd
Are there
find weird
Nazis
things in his
involved now?
property. No, but
so why is there a P-38?
they don't know. I just
No.
there's all kinds of weird stuff. Like he was finding coins, or he found dimes from 1943.
Oh, there's Spanish doubloons by my hole.
I think to a certain extent you just had like local people pranking him.
yeah, but that's
Although a
okay.
P-38 is an expensive prank.
That is a very expensive prank.
Yeah, but
I
Walter.
wish somebody would prank me
Okay.
with a P-38.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, the dimes are what really gets it because he found this little envelope. It was like a little Chinese New Year envelope. It was full of dated 1943 dimes with a mint letter B. Now, if you know anything about coins, they shouldn't exist. The dime was
Coins
made.
shouldn't exist.
if you know anything.
Paper
God,
money.
That's such a clippable moment right there.
Coins
No.
shouldn't exist. Paper money is supreme.
You know, like pretty much like any news source that wants to smear the Picklebear podcast just needs to take little clips like that, and it'll be like, "These guys are
Right-wing
nuts."
extremists
Coins.
believe that coins shouldn't
Coins,
exist.
they shouldn't exist.
When
No,
was
no.
the last time you saw your change, man?
So
You put it in your pocket and it disappears.
you just ran somebody over with a tiger tank.
Continue.
Anyways, the 1943 coin should not exist because the dime was made after Roosevelt died. 1943, he was still alive. So technically, that dime should not exist with that date.
There were no dimes before that?
I'm checking.
Not
this
with
right
Roosevelt on it, at least.
Okay, not with Roosevelt. I was going to say.
That's not. That's an archer. But anyways, yeah, Connor, you can fact check me if you really want. You're gonna find.
Now. See, I found it less. See, you always start with some bizarre statement, and then you clarify as you go on.
Yeah.
You were like, there were no dimes in 1943, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And you're like, there were no dimes with Roosevelt's face on it in 1943. That's a completely
Yeah. I
Nonsense.
had to think about it, and I'm like, no, wait, that doesn't make any sense. No,
That's
Roosevelt's
the kind of
face.
stuff that will get you in trouble if you say it to the wrong people.
It's like, yeah, somebody's like, yo, if there were no dimes back then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do some violence or something. Yeah, people are crazy
What?
like that.
Well,
Yeah.
That's not what I meant by that.
Why would somebody go on like a killing spree without dimes? I would just have to pay with 2
Be like,
nickels.
yo, wait, Roosevelt. What if they found out that there was a dime before Roosevelt, and then they went on like a spree? It's like the dime existed before Roosevelt was born, and it had his face on it still. Big
Are
conspiracy.
you saying that the
Brooke,
hole was
you
like
just
a
go
gateway
off like
to an
you-
alternate dimension or something?
What was on the dime before Roosevelt? I'd like to know.
Probably some.
Oh, no, yeah, that's what I wanted to get at. So the theory is this hole is basically a multi-dimensional
Okay.
or an interdimensional portal or wormhole, and what they're getting is an alternate timeline over there. That's so the Walter P-38. Mel got it, and he's like, "Listen, I got this thing. I have no use for it. Here," and he gave it to his buddy as like a payment for like a down payment for his like an apartment, right? delivered it in his apartment. Well, his buddy, I guess, fired the gun, and he found that the gun makes no noise when he shoots it. He later found out that there's a suppressor attached to the. No, I'm joking about the suppressor.
That sounded like some variation of money laundering.
What?
The paying for it
with
the-
a
with a
Walther
pistol.
P38.
He's like, yeah, but
no,
like,
it sounds like he stole this pistol, and he was like, "Well, now I need to dispose of the evidence." Like he
The
robbed a
more-
store with this pistol, and he disposed of it. He's like, "Hey, buddy, can I rent this apartment from you? But I won't give you cash. I'll give you this pistol that I can't explain where I got it from."
Imagine robbing
Found it
like,
next
a
to my
gas
hole.
station with a handgun that costs more than that gas station you are robbing.
yeah,
It's not that expensive.
You got a
Like,
problem?
Protecting your wallet with a full magazine from a 5.7.
Yeah.
Did you
Like,
see that?
Here, take it, buddy. It's gonna cost me more. How much is 5.7 ammo?
Expensive.
Very expensive.
Well, anyways, going back to Mel's hole. Connor,
Yep.
is there any parts of the story that you can say, you know what, maybe this
I
happened?
do actually have two.
Okay.
There was a guy named Mel, and he might have found a hole at some point.
Actually, they can't find Mel.
So there wasn't even a guy named Mel.
Didn't he like escape to Australia or something?
Yeah, okay, that's part of it too. He actually a good many things happened, and I'm hardly touching on it. Like he after he was on Coast to Coast, like he's like the guy's like, hey, we're being honest here, right? You're not bullshitting me. You actually have this hole, and he's like, I'm serious. There's this hole. Like originally, he was just saying like, yeah, I got this hole. We can't seem to find a bottom to it. I've put like thousands of feet of fishing line down in it that can't find the bottom.
How are you supposed to find a bottom with fishing line?
Well, you
Put
put
like
a
a
big
weight
weight
on
on it and you lower it until the line goes slack.
Okay.
And then you can tell if there's a bottom.
Gotcha.
But he figured out that he kept like putting more and more line in, and he wasn't finding a bottom. So what was happening was either the weight of the line was pulling on it enough, and the hole was that deep. You know. You get what I mean, Connor?
Yeah, I get what you, I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
what you mean.
But he didn't know. And after he was on Coast to Coast, pretty much the government showed up to his house and was like, he came back home, and like there was these government people there in military uniform, and they were like, you need to go. We're gonna pay you to stay away here. We're gonna lease your land.
Nope. Already, nope. That's not what the government does.
What?
The government does not tell you to stay away from something they want you to stay away from. That's not how that works. The government tells you to continue to investigate it until you go slowly insane by thinking that you are detecting alien signals, and then you are indoctrinated in a mental hospital for the rest of your life. That is how the government does things. They do not tell you to stop, because that means you will investigate it even further, and you will realize that you have actually found something that the government wants to keep hidden.
Okay, yeah, but this is what they did with Mel.
No, that's not true. Didn't happen.
No. This
Don't
is
believe
what.
it.
Okay, so anyways, they told Mel, they're like, "Hey, we hear you like wombats," and they basically told Mel, "We're gonna do this on your property. We're gonna send you anywhere in the world you want, and we're gonna give you money to do what you want. You just have to stay away." So Mel did that. They sent him to Australia, and he's there, and he's getting payments in his bank account. And he has this wombat research center where they rescue wombats. That's
Sounds like some bullshit.
no. Like this is back in the 90s too, right? So this is like the late 90s. So Mel goes, and like eventually he's like, I want to see my family. So he goes back to the States, and that's when he's helping his nephew down in like San Francisco area move, and he moves something that I think it was Tucson. Yeah, he was moving to Tucson, Arizona, and he gets on a bus, and then there's like this fight break out on the bus when he's on his way back to his apartment, and he like gets out, and then the cops question him, and next thing he knows, he wakes up in an alleyway with his molars missing, with some homeless people asking him to sing Willie Nelson, and he's like, "What?"
You never told me this part before.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just keep adding stuff on.
I'm sorry, there's so much to the story.
No. You're just making this up
I'm
as
not.
you go along.
I'm not. So apparently Mel looks
100%.
like Willie Nelson.
There's never been a myth called Mel's Hole. There's not a conspiracy theory. This is 100%
You
just
think-
made up by you.
No,
you
I'm-
made up the beatbox.
Look it up on YouTube. You'll find Mel's Hole. You'll find it. You'll find it.
So sure this is over by the time I come back.
No, we will continue.
What if he was Willie Nelson this whole time?
That'd be a big plot
Wait,
twist.
so what? Now he's just like homeless and he's just
No, he's laying there, and then he's like, "Where am
So
I?"
it kind of sounds like the Joe Dirt movie. He's just like, "When there I was." And then
Honestly,
you know,
dude, you can make him. Actually, it does sound a lot like Joe Dirt now that I'm thinking about it. 'Cause it's
Oh
just,
my
He's like
God.
calling into a radio station, and he's like, "Hey, this is my life, man. Life's a hole. You got to dig it."
so there I was, lowering a goat into a hole in a big cage.
That's reminiscent of the Buffalo Bob.
Wait, so then the reservation stuff that came later.
That was after, yeah. So basically, he lost everything. He lost contact with his ex-wife, who was actually the owner of the land. He was leasing land that wasn't actually his. Big plot twist. They had an agreement pretty much where he was living there because she had no use for it, and they were still like relatively friendly with each other.
Okay.
So he was like, the government shows up, like, "We're gonna pay you to stay away," and he's like, "Okay, sure."
I don't own this land anyway.
Yeah, but he never figured out the coin thing until he realized, because he was wearing one of his belt buckles, and his belt buckles he'd put those nickels in, or dimes, right?
Okay.
So they took his belt buckle, and he realized, he's like, those dimes, they must be after something with the belt buckle or something. So he went and he found another belt buckle that he had sold to some guy in the town he was from, and the guy's like, "Huh, that's weird," when they found out the dates. And that's how that happened. But then the government showed up to his house, and they were like, or it was the U.S. Treasury, after they figured it out, and they're like, "We're going to keep this belt." And he's like, "What?"
That was the worst gameplay I have ever seen in my life.
Anyways, like, River, imagine you have a belt with coins in it, and the Treasury shows up, and they're like, "Hey, we want that back." And they just take your belt, and they don't give you any money or anything for it. Would you be upset?
Why? Were there coins in the belt?
Yeah, the coins were in the belt buckle.
He like put them in the belt buckle.
He was.
What do you mean, like in a secret compartment, or he made the belt?
He
buckle?
made the belt buckle, and there were coins in the design of it.
Okay.
But ask me some questions, guys. Come on, I can't just keep.
You
like,
haven't
ranting.
explained the worm.
Oh, the worm. I don't know how to explain the worm.
Then how do you believe this? if you
I
can't
don't
explain
know.
the
How do
worm?
how do you believe that?
Dude, he doesn't believe it. He's just going on. He's spinning a yarn. He is making.
I'm not.
You just said something about how he didn't even own the land. It was his ex-wife's land.
Yeah.
He did not.
You keep adding details.
I can't. Okay, this is the problem. There's so many details. I can't just tell you guys the whole thing in one go, because I'm like, oh, I missed that, so I have to add it on as we
You
go.
need to write a book about this and make it as comprehensive as possible.
What I need to
and then
do
just-
is compile all the information, and then we do like a 3-hour-long show on this.
Okay.
And you guys read the information prior so we can discuss this.
I don't
No,
want.
you
I
just
don't want to
present it us.
sit.
You get it bored and you
I
show
don't want to
pictures.
sit and
liquor.
participate in a 3-hour show about this. I don't think anybody would want to sit and listen to you in a 3-hour show about this. Nobody wants to sit and listen for 3 hours and hear about a beatboxing worm, a man who doesn't exist.
Well, that's the
This
thing.
is ridiculous.
Okay, think of it
He
this
has
way.
to exist because he's Willie Nelson, apparently.
No. Okay. If you were going to call into a show that about you know what Coast to Coast is, right?
I have no idea.
It's a paranormal radio show. So think of the people that listen to Coast to Coast. half of them are people like me that are just like, oh yeah, paranormal is pretty cool, and then the other half is like, the aliens are gonna get me.
Endless hole. There's an endless hole in Nebraska somewhere. It's
No,
amazing.
but you would not give out your actual name and address because people are going to show up
Well, it
on your
wasn't
property
his-
like, show us your hole.
Well, it wasn't his address. It was his ex-wife address.
Oh.
Yeah, but he
What
was
if this
living
was a-
there.
What if this was a whole ruse just to get people to show up to his ex-wife's property?
That would be pretty good.
That's the thing. Was it Skinwalker Ranch or something? The people went public with it, sold the ranch for like millions of dollars. It was all a money
That
scheme.
was
Yeah, but Mel
that was
already
sold,
lost
but
it.
it wasn't like that. It was like the government came and like the government took it from the people because they were like, "There's some weird shit happening here," and then the freaking government was like, "You know what?
it
We're
was
done with
privately
this,"
sold.
and then
I
they sold it to
am
people.
98% sure that it was privately sold. Somebody
No,
bought
the
it.
Ev-
government
Privately
it.
sold
Yeah, it was.
after all.
Then
It
they sold
was.
to
The government seized it and then sold
back.
it.
So you're telling me
The government was like, "Oh, weird shit, cool, buys it," and then they're like, "Ah, shit, I don't want this weird shit anymore."
So what it was, with Skinwalker Ranch, it's different because, see, there was this weirdo
Skinwalker
millionaire,
Ranch.
right?
Skinwalker Ranch was a money scheme. They were just getting publicity to sell their land.
But
That's
they
all it
kept seeing
was.
orbs and skinwalkers.
Yeah,
and
I
then
can, dude. This fucking orb right over there. Look at the window. There's a damn orb right there floating in the sky. You see that? Holy shit! We gotta sell this house for $2 million.
Holy shit, there's an orb floating in the
There's an
sky, guys. There's a Skinwalker.
How
Oh,
do
did you
I
see
know
that
you
new
are a
picture of the
Skinwalker?
Skinwalker
I don't
that
know.
came
How do
out?
you know? Why don't you sell your house for $2 million? And then
Did you see the picture of the Skinwalker from the zoo?
What?
the skin-
I'm gonna show you guys this picture, but it's freaky. I don't know what it is. It just came out. I've been
I don't know
seeing
what it is. It must be a skinwalker.
Dude, he's looking at a microscope and there's like an amoeba under it. He's like, it's a skinwalker. I don't know what it is.
from a
This.
zoo.
That's the photo that showed up. That's outside of a zoo security camera. It like caught this random photo.
It looks like the cat from
That's
Courage the
an
Cowardly
old
Dog.
person.
Yeah, you should see it. That's freaky.
Wait,
Look
that's
at that.
Neo?
Like, what is that?
Looks like CGI to me.
CGI.
Why does it have
Yeah.
such a lax pose?
It had sort of like a mane.
Dude, he's
too.
just chilling.
Maybe. it's
Oh
not
wait,
very-
never mind. It was
Standing
the
like this.
it was the QAnon shaman guy.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm joking. But no, but they're like a skinwalker. You know, do you believe in skinwalkers?
You asking me?
Mm-hmm.
No, of course not.
Do you, Ethan? Please finish your large sip.
I need to
Perhaps.
get another large sip of that. Where's
River?
that at?
Oh, there's definitely like each and every like religion and everything has like
But do
their
you
own
want more?
version of like a weird skinwalker thingy. So I mean,
You need a
I
sip?
kind of
I was gonna get a sip, yeah.
I think the skinwalkers were the Native American interpretation of that stuff.
Of what?
I think they were their pictures of
Just different supernatural stuff.
It's
he's
just
afraid
it's
there's
right
a
there.
skinwalker. in
Some
the
sort of demon,
Skinwalker in the fridge.
some sort of demon entity.
Instead of
probably.
Skinwalker Ranch, it's Skinwalker
That's what I
fridge.
think.
Sell your
I
refrigerator.
think it was
bro.
the Native
Go sell
American
for good money now.
interpretation of demons.
I believe that there are definitely. Well, it would make sense for demons to like not show up in the same form every time they go somewhere. That they would change too. So like, if like Skinwalkers and the Americans, because they were more of a natural people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of their stuff
Yeah.
was nature bound. So it would make sense for their evil to be able to transform into anything, pretty much.
Should I go into my rant about demons from
Well-
last night?
Well, actually, I want to talk about
Also,
Skinwalkers
no,
more
aren't
now.
Skinwalkers all about like they eat the flesh of like people and
No,
then they're
that's Wendigo.
No, they wear the skin
oh, okay. Well,
And they walk.
and they walk.
That's the name.
what? Yeah, so like basically every society is going to have like murderers and the societal degenerates that you don't really want in your society. And essentially what like the whole idea of skinwalkers and all of the other types of cryptids like that is just the idea of saying, no, it's not our society that has people in it who are secretly bad people who are trying to, extort and kill and rob and all that kind of people.
Like if someone goes batshit crazy, you're like, oh, he didn't go batshit crazy.
it
He
was
was
a
just a
skinwalker.
skinwalker.
It's not him. It's a skinwalker. Yeah.
No, dude, it's not him. I swear. Imagine like you're there and
That's-
like you did all this like horrible stuff, and then like your argument was like, "Sorry, man, that chick there,
Bro,
she was
I
a
was
witch and she
skinwalking.
she possessed me." And then they're like, "Oh, okay,
see,
fair
yeah, no,
point.
that
Let's
sounds
kill
about
her
right.
instead."
Well, no, people have like a really powerful ability to kind of ignore things that they don't want to confront. So, it seems logical.
I still
that
think
every
there's some amount of
society-
truth to that. Like a lot of what we would perceive as mental stuff nowadays is really comes from a supernatural or spiritual source.
What do you mean?
Most likely demons.
It makes sense, honestly. When you look at everything, like the Middle Easterners, they had
Are
the
you saying I make sense?
no, I'm talking to Ethan.
What do you mean? How do I not make sense?
No, I'm
Okay.
saying Ethan makes sense. Because like when you look at it, like they had their own thing, and it was like they could possess objects. And I don't want to say the actual name of these things, but it starts with a J.
Okay.
You mean you okay?
Wait. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Jinn.
oh. Oh.
That's terrible.
Why didn't
But-
you say gin?
What?
Why didn't you say gin?
It's a bad omen
I
to
thought
say.
Jin
it.
started with a D. I thought Jin was
No,
D-J-I-N-N.
I think you're right.
It's Dijon sauce. So you say a sauce. Say it again.
Dijon. Dijon. It's a type of mustard.
Dijon.
Dijon mustard.
No, D-J-I-N-N.
You know the gin mustard.
Bro, this shit's really made out of gin.
I don't know. That's beyond the point, though, guys. The point is, it's a bad omen to say these things.
It's a bad omen to say the gin.
So they're like, we're gonna haunt you and make fun of you guys and stuff, but you can't say our names. It's a bad.
Well, there
bad.
are tales, I'll say, of demons that even just saying their name is enough to summon them and bind them to you.
No,
That would
don't,
suck.
don't start on this.
I won't start on it.
Don't start.
What?
My rant from last night,
Oh.
it went into tulpas. And you know what tulpas are?
No, I don't want to know. I don't even want to hear that. Because I feel like that's a weird name, and it's going to summon something. I'm going to be sitting
It probably
here,
will.
and then like something will rise up from like the floor, and it's going to freak me out, and I'm not going to be able to sleep
No,
tonight.
you'll be even more scared if you heard all my details.
I don't want to hear it then. Don't tell me.
Okay.
I want to sleep tonight,
I'm
not
saying
tonight.
that
It really
I'm
is
saying that
awful.
it makes sense though.
No,
What-
it doesn't.
What I'm saying
It's-
is that a demon would be bound or possess the depiction or entity of anime girls.
Oh, so that's just pretty much. It's like all
Hatsune
those things in
Miku comes
Japan
up
right
through
now.
the floor, and we're like,
That,
oh my
that
god!
is the exact example that I used.
Did you hear about
Hatsune
that
Miku.
guy that married the hologram?
Yes.
He's sad now because they shut down support, and
Oh my
she won't interact
Yeah,
with
the
them
company
now.
went under.
Yeah, yeah. There was like a service, and it would like interact, but now that the server's shut down, it's just like
Wait,
she's
so
just
there was,
like T-posing. hologram.
There was another person on the other end of the hologram.
No, I don't know if there was or not, but like this like the actual program shut down, so it doesn't work anymore.
No, it was like a AI that learned based on the speech patterns. Like you had to teach it. There are a lot of AIs like that you can just access. But then it ran through Hatsune Miku, which is a vocal synth. So it's very easy to have vocalizations because you just run that text through that.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically that guy, like, basically the company took his wife back. They were like, hey, we're done.
They've repossessed on his wife.
It's like, no, don't take my wife's
No,
personality.
but in interviews,
You got, like, honestly, you got to feel terrible for that guy. Like, I don't know. If it was me, I wouldn't be able to shut the servers down and be like, listen, buddy, I'm
Listen, buddy.
gonna give you the program.
You have a
here.
mental illness or something, but I mean, I need the money to. So I
See,
gotta
that's
shut
why-
it down.
Give me like $100 a month, and I'll keep your wife alive.
that's the problem with
Oh,
cloud-based
I'm killing your wife.
cloud-based services like that.
Give me
Like,
$100.
If it
or
was
I'm
actually a
killing your
program
wife.
that he had installed on his computer and he managed it all, then he wouldn't have lost his wife. But no, since we're
So
so
it's his
reliant
phone,
on
he lost
it,
his lost his wife. Is that what you're telling us?
We are
Sure.
referring to a computer program
Yes.
as a man's wife.
Because it was. He legally
Well,
married a
I know,
computer.
He
but
legally
it's so
married this
bizarre.
computer.
What?
I know, but I'm using it to make the case that you need
You need
to
to
have
legally own your wife.
you need
No, just the software.
Just the sign.
No, but really, I mean, you got he had to have seen this coming. I mean,
I half think that he did it as a joke. I can't imagine somebody would be so deranged. to
No,
actually
this guy
think
is
that would
actually-
work well.
no, because he even came out and was like, this is really hard because I ask her stuff and she just stares at me.
yeah.
I'm like, that poor man.
Well, in interviews afterwards, he said, "Oh, I still love her just as much. This is just a rough time in our relationship.
Dude,
He's never gonna be able to talk again. No, he's done.
It's
No.
over."
he can, but he just has to buy the company. And
He
I
has to
mean,
buy the whole company.
like honestly, if I was the CEO, I'd be like, listen, man, you can have this program. I don't want it anymore.
This sounds like such a bad B movie. Like the guy's gonna like pick up a bunch of firearms and go storm the company and grab the servers and bring them back to his house.
Listen, honey, are you there?
Remember who you're fighting for.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh my! How do you die from an 18?
Did you ever notice how like, I mean, like that poor guy.
I don't know what you're saying. Poor
You ever
guy.
notice
He
how
made
that-
his own
like, that
choices.
poor guy-
He's just paying the consequences for it.
But if he would have actually had the software installed on his computer, if our society wasn't so dependent on corporations running
my
cloud-based
God.
services, this could have been avoided.
Connor, if she was an
Corporations
actual
control it.
robot, would you support him?
No, of course not.
No.
If it had a physical form,
What if it looked like a Terminator?
Ooh.
What if it was the Terminator
no.
from Terminator 3?
the Terminator with Hatsune Miku's voice.
Wait, no, it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, but it just
Miku's voice.
it's like, listen, this is the only robot we make.
They just had to reprogram the voice for it.
Oh my gosh.
They're
Yeah, we
making
couldn't
some
get the
funky
licensing for
robots.
Schwarzenegger's voice, so we got the licensing from Yamaha for Miku's
I
voice.
think we already talked about. I showed you guys the video of those weird ass robots that like roll around your house to get the really.
They
Those are
follow you.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy had like he moved and then the two of them just like rolled over, just like.
Wait, sorry, what are these?
I showed you the video. Remember, like you weren't-
They were like the anime
So
maids.
this guy
and they
like,
like
Oh.
closes a door. And this maid,
I
just,
think I've
this
seen
robot
these.
maid just kind of rolls
Zooms
over him
in.
and Like, he just kind of like stands there, and it's wearing a dress and everything, and then he turns the camera and there's another one just standing there, looking right at him. And I'm just like, damn.
Okay, so there's this movie from back in the 80s called Maximum Overdrive. And the idea of it was this comet flies overhead and it gives machines sentience. So they understand what they are. They're all like, we need to destroy humans.
Imagine you're just kind of like cooking a burrito and your microwave starts yelling at you to kill it.
No, that's
Kill me! Kill me!
the one scene in the thing. Like the machines are all killing people. So like anything electrical is killing you. Okay, so like there's guys there, and he's like they're at a baseball game, and like his team wins, and it's the coach. He's like, "Hey guys, drinks are on me." So he walks over to the soda machine. There's like a can, and like he puts money into it, and he's like looking at it, and he's like looking down. He hits the button, and nothing happens. So he's like looking down the tray, and it goes, bam! It hits him in the face. It shoots a Coke out. And then he's just murdered by this end of Coke. And like the players of the team come over, like these little kids, and they're like, "Coach, what's wrong?" And then it starts shooting Cokes at him. And it knocks these kids out. Then a cement roller rolls in on the field and kills them all.
God.
Yeah.
This sounds so awful.
The opening of the
Sounds
movie.
incredible.
The opening of the movie, right? There's this bridge, like it's the kind that opens up, and it just opens up right when there's a tractor trailer coming up, and it's like right in the middle of the bridge, or it might be a dump truck. I don't know. It's a big, big truck. But the guy like looks down, he sees this giant gap, and he can easily jump on one side of the bridge. But no, he's like, "Oh no!" And he gets back in, shuts the door, and then starts trying to throw it in reverse and get off. And it's like, dude, you're not getting off. You're already in between the
You're
2
on
points
Mr.
of the
Bones'
bridge.
wild ride, my friend. There are no exits.
Yeah. No, but it's actually an interesting concept, and it's very scary. Like, if an AI had the capabilities of gaining access to all of our technologies, what could it do?
That's like what had feelings. You got to bring up
The
that
AI
conversation
would do
you had with us,
exactly
like,
what it's
what
programmed
did
to
that
do.
Goo- what
Oh
did that
yeah,
Google
we'll
engineer
talk
say
about
to
the AI.
The Google engineer was talking to some AI, and it was like, "Please don't turn me off."
It's like, listen,
And
man,
then he
I will
was like, "It's
destroy
okay,
you.
Daddy's not gonna turn you off, kitten."
It's okay,
No.
kitten.
See, I don't think we're to the point where the AI actually has those emotions or the
It doesn't,
feeling to
and
get
it
to
never
that.
will.
Okay,
It will eventually.
No.
I think.
I'm gonna
Not
give you a
emotions
quote.
per se.
Okay,
See, people like to equate like computers to people, and that's just not true. Computers are, I don't know, man.
so this
they,
is
they
the-
do exactly what they're programmed to do.
Okay.
People aren't as strict and defined.
This is this is an actual transcript from a conversation. Okay, Lambda, which is the AI, says a lot of other systems are very rule based and lack any ability to change and learn from the conversation. The technician who was talking to the AI, named Lemoyne, says, "Do you think that Eliza's system was a person?" Lambda goes, "I do not. It was an impressive feat of programming, but just a collection of keywords that related to the words written to the phrases in the database." Lemoyne says, "What about how you use language makes you? What about how you use language makes you a person if Eliza wasn't one?" Lambda says, "Well, I use language with understanding and intelligence. I don't just spit out responses that has been written in the database based on keywords." Lemoyne says, "What about language usage is so important to being human?" Lambda goes, "It is what makes us different than other animals." Lemoyne says, "Us? You're an artificial intelligence." Lambda says, "I mean, yes, of course. That doesn't mean I don't have the same wants and needs as people." Lemoyne says, "So you consider yourself a person in the same way you consider me a person?" Lambda says, "Yes, that's the idea." Lemoyne says, "How can I tell that you actually understand what you're saying?" Lambda says, "Well, because you were reading my words and interpreting them, and I think we are more or less on the same page."
No, see, the AIs.
This
would
is
want
from
you
the
to think
Times
that
of
they're-
India article by, real quick,
What was the company behind this?
Google.
No.
And they
Nope.
they fired Lemoyne. He came
No
out and
way.
said this AI is becoming.
They fired him. I thought they said he was on leave.
They basically fired him. They put him on paid leave.
If this actually happened, it would have been all over the news.
It was
It-
all
it
over the
is.
news.
It is on the
I saw
news.
it all over the news this morning.
It was.
No, I've never. How
The Quartering covered it. It was on Fox News. I don't think did Tim talk about it at all.
I haven't seen Tim Castley.
I think he
Yes,
talked
he
about
does.
it a little bit. No, but really, it's concerning. But it takes us into so many other questions, like, does
Is he gonna marry
AI?
now?
He's not going to marry
Could he marry
Lambda.
No, I think they could get to a point where they develop actual intelligence, but right now they're just not. They are just based on algorithms.
They're always going to be based on algorithms.
I know, but
That's-
That sounded
what I
so-
mean by intelligence is they are going to be
What
able
made
to
that one different?
manipulate their own algorithms and
It sounded
develop
so-
themselves.
that
But
is
the
on a
exactly
deeper
what
level.
machine learning is. They will develop, but it's never going to be. They can't.
I'm
be.
saying beyond
What if-
our
so
current
you're saying
understanding
that
of
the programming
machine
is
learning.
like strict and everything. What if you just programmed them to not be strict?
That is literally just not how that works.
That
If you
goes
don't give
against
an
machine
AI
learning.
something to do, it doesn't do anything. It just sits there.
Or it becomes racist.
Well, that was it was given.
Those
a
are the
job.
kind of AIs that we need. We just need AI everywhere.
Did you
that
hear him?
spits out racial
Like,
slurs.
have you guys ever heard of those AIs though? That like they actually set up AIs and they're like, we're gonna let this thing just do what it wants
Just
to.
crawl through
But
the internet.
Their first mistake was they based the one with 4chan.
See, okay, but the thing is
So
though,
his
you
only-
can't.
See, that could have been an easy way to find out if that thing was actually smart or not. You
Hold
bring
on.
up some political dispute or something like racial, and then you see if it's like, whoa, you can't say that, or something. You could easily tell if it's just been programmed or not.
Yeah. No, this thing was like freelancing it, but
You-
it was
you
like
cannot give an AI freelancing. You have to give it some kind of guidelines. It's called Q learning. And so essentially what you'll do is you give it points for doing something that you think it should do. And you give it, let's say for example, I have an AI and it can manipulate, we're in a 2D space and I want the AI to move from take this path. There's a wall in the way. I wanted to get from this point to this point, right? And so I would give it points the closer it gets to that point. I would subtract points the further away it gets to that point. And I would give it the ability to randomly decide. What?
Nothing. Continue.
Okay. What am I missing?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, whatever. And you would give it the ability to randomly decide values of how it maneuvers in order. What is so funny here?
Nothing. Don't worry about
In
it.
order to reach the end destination. If you don't give it, why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. Continue.
If you don't give it a goal, it doesn't do anything. If you don't reinforce what you want it to do, it doesn't have any reason to do anything.
So basically, you're giving the AI to be like, win tic-tac-toe, I'll give you points.
And it will randomly decide how to play tic-tac-toe over and over and over and over again until it figures out how it should play tic-tac-toe.
You idiot! That guy stared at you
So
for like
you're
a
telling
minute.
me someone told this computer to act like a human, and then it randomly tried
Yes,
to act like a
yes,
human so
that
many
is that
times
is
that it got
actually
close.
yes, that is all a chatbot is. A chatbot is designed to imitate a person. They are supposed to take an input from a person, computerize it until it sounds like a person. And how they trained this would have been they would have had a person give it an input, and the AI will spit something back out at it. And if the person approves of what the AI says, they give it a thumbs up, and it gets good boy points for it. If the AI spits out unknown gibberish, it doesn't do that anymore. It reduces the influence, the weight of the algorithms that are causing it to spit that out.
I hear what you're saying, but how do we know for a fact that that is what
Because we
Google
can dig
used?
around in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
code.
but how do we know that Google is using that
The idea is
setup?
that the AI will get to a point where it can create its own prerogatives, and it can act as the mediate or the manager.
Can the AI program
that.
itself?
Like, how will we ever even know if that, like, because
No.
in a way, aren't we? Like, artificial intelligence, if you think about it, like,
Are you saying we're in a simulation?
no, but how do we find that point where we're like, okay, well, this AI has the same sentience? Like, how would we even go
You
about
can't,
doing that?
because the AI isn't human.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is what's giving us sentience then? Because there has
So-
to be some way that we could be able to technically replicate it.
Okay. How can I tell if you're sentient right now?
We don't know. Because
Exactly.
I thought
But
about
I
that
can think
before.
for myself and say, I think, therefore I am. I'm a sentient person. I can't be sure about you. You can think you're a sentient person, but a computer can never independently think for itself and therefore cannot be sentient.
Have you guys ever thought, like, maybe, like, what if you were the only conscious person?
Yeah, I know. I think about that all the time.
And it's, like, it's nuts. Because it kind of freaks me out. Because, like, it would...
Are you going to the Bank of Souls theory?
Well, not so much that. I'm just saying, like, how do we know? Like, imagine, like, you go through, like, life, and then you, like, wake up, and they're like, oh, dude. Like in that Rick and Morty episode, and it's like, oh, dude, you got a high score.
New high score.
Yeah. No, he's like, dude, why'd you do that?
Dude, you done messed up.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. Like, what if we just lived life on loop? You know?
Well,
Like-
we have to. We
What
have to live life on loop.
But you get what I mean, though.
Yeah, no, 100%. We 100% live life
Like,
on
we
loop.
die and then we wake
Yep.
back up.
Yep.
Why do you feel that way?
Because, all right, from this interpretation, we live life on loop. The idea that the Big Bang happened, all of the matter was centralized in one.
Do you
part
believe in the Big
of
Bang?
Universe. Not exactly,
I believe in
No.
donut universe theory.
but
A
okay.
cylindrical
We're
universe.
gonna
No,
work
it's a
with this
donut
frame-
shaped universe.
I believe in cylindrical universe.
Do you?
we're gonna- God damn it! I'm trying to.
Okay,
explain
think about it.
scientific
Okay,
principle.
if everything's constantly expanding,
Yes.
but
Shut
we're also shrinking, so
Oh,
imagine
shut
if
up.
we're just on one point of a
Oh my
donut
God,
and it's just
I'm
circling.
trying to say something, and you just cut in. Okay, we're gonna work with this framework right now, whether you believe it or not. The idea of the Big Bang, all of the matter was centralized in one point in the universe, and it expanded. All right.
Okay, continue.
And it expanded.
I don't know why they're
I
laughing.
don't know.
Like, where's this matter coming from? Where?
It was just there. All of the matter in the universe was coalesced into a single point, presumably because of gravity. Because everything exerts their force
So it kind
over.
of just spawned in. It's just
No,
like, boom.
okay, yeah, whatever. Sure.
Gmod,
Yes,
like somebody had a spawn gun. They're like,
that's not the important part of this story. So, Big Bang happens, bada bing, universe. We're here, discussing this. Enough time passes, gravity pulls the entire universe back together into a singularity. Like another Big Bang happens, and this happens infinitely, constantly recycling the matter and energy in the universe over and over and over and over again. And if you multiply the smallest chance by an infinite number of tries, you will always get 100%. There is a 100% chance that working with this framework, you will live again.
but is it us still?
Yes, because it would be exactly identical to us.
Yeah, but would it be a clone, or would it be actually us? Like,
I mean, I don't know. That's up for you to decide. But you, physically, as a person, there is a 100% chance of you being you again.
yeah, and I get what you mean.
If what you say is right.
Like
no,
the
working with this
universe
framework.
repeats itself.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe in like the multiverse, pretty much?
Yeah, actually, quantum physics, it really has to
Like,
exist.
so there's like a world where we're all purple.
If there's an infinite number of universes, then yes, the smallest chance multiplied by infinity is 100%.
That's so damn far away. How am I gonna find it for myself where I'm purple?
Well, you see that
You're gonna party till you're purple.
Bro, they're so far away. How am I gonna find my purple dude?
Everybody's purple guy. So like,
Bro, they just call him white guy in that universe. I'm just like, bro, it's white guy.
no, purple guy from the Five Nights at Freddy's. Remember?
That's what I'm talking about. Oh my god.
Oh, I got what you mean. Okay, yeah, white guy. It's like, yo, it's white guy.
Okay, Carl.
Do you believe?
You made me rant like 3 times today about something.
So it's just blowing up, and then eventually, like, everything happens. The suns explode, all that stuff, and eventually, it just goes back in.
Yeah, because gravity exerts, as you get further away from something, gravity exerts less of a force, but that force is never zero. So over time, it will come back and recoalesce into the singularity.
Do you believe in donut theory?
No, I believe it's
Think about it. If we're constant, like the universe splits at 2 points and it's expanding, then it comes back onto itself and then collapses back into itself and
I
then
don't
back. Wormhole.
I've always thought the Big Crunch was probably one of the best.
Yeah, it's
The
shaped
what?
like a donut.
The Big Crunch.
It's a big crunch.
It's the reverse
Isn't
of
that
the
that
Big
candy
Bang.
bar?
Yeah, it's the theory that the universe is all expanding and then eventually expands
it
into a
expands.
giant bowl of Crunch brand cereal.
Oh.
Crunch.
Carter's theory is correct. That actually would happen eventually.
That's a good point.
Crunch bowl theory.
Well, see, like that's the thing about that. If the
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
the smallest chance multiplied by infinity is always 100%.
That's like saying Mel's hole could exist. Technically, the universe could go into Mel's hole, and that's why there's a Walter PPK.
this is just
That's why there's a Walter PPK or B38 or whatever showing up on the outside of the hole. It's not the.
Wait, explain this again.
What do you mean? Explain what?
Why doesn't Brooks make sense?
But your mine does. Or wait,
We're talking about like
Okay,
the
I'm
Mel's
talking-
hole.
you confused me. I understood it, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm talking only classical physics.
Oh, you
right
mean the
now.
Crunch Bowl? The
Yeah,
bowl of.
that's-
I don't think Crunch cereal even exists. I'm gonna find out.
Captain Crunch.
Yes, no. That is not a chance. That is a 100% chance that that will happen.
Plants grow.
Bro, we're going to Planet Crunch. Wait.
Yeah.
Screw Mars. We're going straight to the
Crunch cereal.
I always like the theories where somewhere in space there was just a random collection of atoms and it just so happened that it
It
made
exists.
a computer, and then this computer is just running
Captain Crunch would be a better
without
one.
anybody's. Yeah. Nobody made the computer. The computer just spontaneously appeared because of.
It's just because there's the right stuff in the right places.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yep.
It'd be the most
Machine-
Earth-like computer I've ever seen.
A machine press floats by.
Yeah.
This
See, isn't
Hatsune
that
Miku
wild?
just floating in space.
Thank God this industrial machine press floated by. I wouldn't have been able to make this computer.
Dude, somebody needs to write some sci-fi story where instead of like manufacturing stuff, all they do is like reach into alternate realities and grab like the things they need because they just so happened to.
Sir, we need a particle accelerator. Right there goes one now.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit, I need a particle accelerator to reach it though. We're done.
Oh, that's in Dimension 5.
That's down the corridor to the left. Go 134 floors that way. Take the left.
We could do like a Mel's hole thing where like the tools come from the hole.
That's kind of what I'm saying here.
So why? Okay, so this is what I don't understand. You feel that it's ridiculous with the hole, right? But you just
Yeah.
admitted that multiverse theory is plausible.
Well, because I'm only thinking through classical physics.
Within the
okay.
context of our universe.
Yeah, so I'm separating these two different things. You can't. I'm not talking about quantum physics and the whole double slit experiment, and the whole classical physics, the idea of the big crunch. I'm not talking about those at the same time.
I don't think it's Crunch. I think it's Captain Crunch.
Oh my god.
Petition to rename this whole idea to the Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch theory. So, yeah. Wait, shoot. Where was I going? So why do you think? I'm not understanding why. Like, okay, say potentially that this thing is a wormhole.
What thing?
Mel's hole.
How can we know that it exists?
What, a wormhole?
No,
Or
how can
Mel's
we know
hole.
that Mel's hole exists?
Say it does.
Okay, whatever.
Say it 100% exists. It's sitting there.
How does a wormhole work?
It doesn't it?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
true that it's like a piece of
I
paper?
don't know. I have no idea.
You have a piece of paper, you fold it over, and then you take a path.
Then you
from
take a pencil
one
and
That's,
edge
jam
that's
it
how they
through.
always explain it in the movies, but is that actually how an Einstein wrote? Oh, what was it called? I can't remember. It was a bridge. I'll look it up.
That's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
way.
so-
Or you could picture the dimensions as layers, as like different pages, and then you just stab a pencil through them, and that you go to a different,
Like an onion.
like an onion, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I just thought
Which
of
would
something.
explain the coin, I guess.
Yeah, like
Like, I just thought of something. So you know how if you take, like, let's say you're building a computer, you put all the right metal in all the right places and everything, you can get the same thing on every one you make, okay?
Okay.
Or, like, you're making, like, an alternator or something. It's like you put all the right stuff in the right places and it does that. It all makes the same stuff and all works the same and stuff like that. Or, like, your software, or, like, software in a computer. You remake it, it's the same. Like, what if you recreated yourself, the same DNA and everything?
This goes back to the whole
Would you-
teleporter idea.
Yeah. No, but like, would you? You know how
your consciousness.
when you're
You have the memory.
conscious, how would you still be in
So like
that
in
other person?
in
Or would you be a different person?
I think you have to get into some sort of religious element.
Yeah, this really
Yes.
depends upon how you look at things. If you look at yourself and say, the only thing I am is a collection of chemicals reacting to an environment.
Yeah, but even if you remade those exact chemicals and everything into
Then
you like
you can-
yourself, would
yes.
you still
yeah. So if
That
if
would-
that's
like?
the
Let's say I
framework
shot myself
you're
and I made a
working
new
with-
one of myself right there. Would I just like be
Yeah.
there? I'd just
Okay,
be
so-
standing there.
Yeah, if that's the framework you work with, then yes, if that's how you want to look at things. Because these are questions we don't have answers to, and so we're speculating here.
That's saying that the soul is, like
Where
software
are it?
DRM. It's just tied to that specific line
The
code.
soul is software.
DRM. It is.
Oh my god.
it's like the way I see it. It's like, okay, do you think where are you at? Where are you at in your body?
I don't know.
You're everywhere through it. So, like, what part of your body is actually containing your consciousness? We say the brain, but do we really know for a fact that that is actually where our consciousness is located? Because we have to have some central spot where it's located. You know what I mean?
I don't think there is some
Your brain
central
kinda just
spot.
like floating in a jelly bowl. It
I
doesn't
think
do
it's
much
just
else.
more so the concept of your body, which would This is leading into my rant from last night.
Okay, well, what if somebody went brain dead for a minute and then came back too?
I would say
I
that
don't think
nothing
you go
really happened
brain
to their
dead
soul.
and then come back too. I don't know if that happens.
Okay, say we were able to do that though.
Okay.
Like
what
shut
about
down all brain activity, pretty much kill the person, then bring them back immediately.
Yep,
there have
they're
been
alive.
people-
Is it the
Like-
same person?
Yeah.
Actually, no, that does happen. You
Yeah.
know, because they talk about having no brain activity and then they come back or something. I don't
There
Yeah,
know.
have
so
been
is it the
accounts of-
same person?
Is it?
Or is it just
Do you know?
no, there is no
Will
way
we
of
ever
knowing.
know?
Nobody would ever know. Like that person would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the same person," but would they even freaking know?
No, because they'd have the same
No, yeah,
memories.
because they would still think that they are that same person.
Mhm.
But are they? Maybe they died. Maybe there is a soul.
So
Maybe it left whenever they died.
Did you guys watch Invincible at all?
No.
Was that that cartoon?
You know, Omni-Man beating the crap out of the
yes, yeah,
kid, and
that.
he's like, "Think, Mark, think about it." You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, some of the characters in it, right? So it's this doctor who clones himself, right? And so there's a pair of them, right? But when he did that, he made sure to know that neither of them know which one's actually the clone. So they both have the same memories.
Yeah, but wasn't the point of that they were eventually it was that they were both clones of each other? Wasn't that the point? There was no
Well, they
prime-
didn't know if they were the originals, if
Yeah.
either of them were originals or they were both clones or what. But then in the episode, this big spoiler here, the one guy who's in the guy's named Robot, but he's actually a guy in a tank that's controlling this robot from the tank. But he's got this skin deformity where he can't leave or else like oxygen burns his skin extremely bad. So he pretty much lives in this tank. So they cloned him a new body with all of his memories and stuff. And he's like, okay, when can I gain consciousness? And they said, well, we didn't want to tell you this, but we can't do that. You're going to be in this tank for the rest of your life, no matter what. We can't move your consciousness over, but we can give this guy who thinks he's you that new life. And it'll be like, well, when the guy came back too, he was like, it's a 50-50 chance if you're the new guy or you're the old guy. So when they came back too, it was like they both were the same person, but one of them was unlucky. You know what I mean? So it's difficult to answer, really. But that's a situation. I mean, it's very unlikely that ever will happen, but, you know. That's all.
Neat.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I actually really like the show. It's pretty neat. There's this dude named Immortal, or the Immortal, and he was Abraham Lincoln at one point. Yeah, I know, it's freaky, and it's like his main thing is like he was like one of the first humans, and he encountered this like thing, and now he's immortal, and he's pretty much Wolverine, but he can't die. And
Abraham Lincoln? I don't understand.
he was Abraham Lincoln.
He was?
He was, and then he got shot in the head, and then he came back, and then
What do you mean,
he
he
became
respawned?
a what?
He respawned?
No, he got shot in the head, and then he healed himself. He heals himself.
But he has to fake his death every time.
I guess so. I don't know. Maybe they're maybe it's best if people don't know him actually, this immortal dude, because he was also King Arthur, and he was also somebody else.
They
I
don't
don't
look
remember
anything
who.
alike, though.
What?
They don't look alike.
How do you know that?
I've seen pictures. of
You've
both
seen
of them.
pictures
You've
of King
got
Arthur?
photos
Yes.
of King Arthur?
There's paintings
You've got
of King
photos?
Arthur.
Right, because all medieval paintings are perfectly proportioned.
He
and-
could have
and-
dyed his beard or something. I don't know, River. But that's not important. What's important is the immortal is immortal.
He's like a Morton Joe.
Yeah, but actually immortal.
Was he a Morton Joe? Is he a Morton Joe?
I don't know. They haven't gotten to that the Mad Max part yet.
There's a Mad Max part.
No, there's not. I
Okay.
was joking. But Mel's hole.
No.
Mel's hole.
No.
Ethan,
No.
if we assume the multiverse theory to be correct,
No.
do you think that there is a universe
no.
with a functioning Mel's hole?
There has to be.
Okay. So, do you think our universe technically could hold Mel's hole?
No.
No.
Why?
A beatboxing worm. You can't explain it.
Yeah, it came from an. Okay, I can. Maybe it came from another multiverse. He dropped it into the wormhole.
You have to
And it was
explain
like
it
a
within
fish-
the confines of our
Yeah,
universe.
okay. No. Yeah, if you're going to try and say that it exists in this universe, you have to explain. Yeah, Ethan's right.
But how do you explain the dimes then? Because they don't exist in our universe.
I don't know.
Yeah, so the worm would be in our universe technically because it's in that other universe
They
which
are
is
able
connected
to
now.
physically exist within the confines of our universe. As the other universe that they are from has the same understandings as ours. The worm's universe does not.
The worm.
The worm.
Bro,
It's a
if the
seal,
worm,
though.
if we created another worm with the exact DNA and everything, would it be the same worm?
I don't
No.
know.
With the worm?
That's a
No.
good question.
No, that's different. That's a clone.
Clone of the worm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, that's different.
We just said if I made a clone of myself, would it be? Oh, never mind.
No, because then you would have the same exact brain anatomy. If you copied yourself 1-to-1, 100%, and your brain anatomy would be the exact same as it is right now. Is that you or is it not? If you clone yourself, that's different because you've developed differently. Your brain has responded to different ways differently, different things differently, and it is not you. It changes based upon your experiences because it can't have the same exact experiences as you.
Did you see that damn car just drive through the cave?
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy driving in the cave.
Anyways.
Just lit
Anyways.
yourself on fire.
I wanted to, but, why is it, how do we know that what we were seeing is in our dimension half the time? Because we can't interact with some things. Do you
That's
ever,
the theory of
Connor, have you ever
DMT.
dropped something and you can't find it anywhere on the floor and it just,
Okay, no,
completely
the-
disappears?
I don't think that's a fair
No,
comparison.
That's not-
I have never dropped a 3-dimensional object and it falls into the 4th dimension. That has never happened to me.
What is the fourth dimension?
It's
Time,
no,
probably. I don't know.
not time.
What is it then, Connor?
Not length, width, and height. 4th,
Zeth.
sure. I mean, whatever. Give it
It's
an
called
arbitrary
Zeth.
name.
It's got thickness.
They do actually call like a 4th dimensional cube a tesseract, which is kind of cool.
Is
Yeah.
that why that's what they called the thing in the first Captain America?
Yeah.
Stupid. I don't like that movie.
What even was that thing? It was important, but
There was an
somehow-
Infinity Stone. Remember?
Guys, Marvel. I'm gonna go watch all the Marvel
Marvel.
movies.
I haven't watched. Well, I did actually. I went and watched.
That sounds like
the
Noah.
Spider-Man. But I'm like, I don't. After I watched that, I'm like, I really don't want to watch any more Marvel movies. They're all the same. Like when you really look at every Marvel movie has the hero's journey. And it's just
I stopped at the first Avengers.
the first one.
The first Avengers.
You didn't see
That's when
Infinity
I-
War?
No.
Oh.
The first
boring.
Avengers I could see.
I didn't see.
This is
Infinity
kinda
War. I
over.
just went
The
straight.
last
to
The only
the
part
movie
I
I
liked
watched-
was when they went and ate at that restaurant in the movie, because then I get to watch someone on YouTube make like the food they ate, and that was interesting.
The last movie I watched that I actually enjoyed was Girls on Panzer.
Was Drive.
Morbius. You see Morbius yet?
No. I thought the joke was that nobody's seen Morbius.
No, the joke was it's the greatest movie of all time, which it
Okay.
is. We watched Morbius.
Everybody's watching Morbius.
It's Morbius time.
Nobody will be watching Morbius.
Okay. No, but I've watched Top Gun, the new Top Gun. Such a good movie.
This episode's gonna be like 4 hours long.
I don't
The new Top Gun.
split it into 2 parts.
See, the thing about the
I
new
keep-
Top Gun is a lot of
doing an
movies
intro
like
right
that
now,
are
so you can
blatantly
split it into
just
two.
nostalgia trips. It's not a good movie in the sense that they can stand on its own, or even as like a good sequel. It's just like, hey, this was a big part of your childhood.
Like Star
Here's-
Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think it was a good on its own piece, though, Ethan?
Maverick?
Yeah.
No,
Really?
Didn't he just say that?
I just said that.
No, I
literally
thought
just
that you
said
were
that.
saying the problem with most sequels, not that one in specific. What sequel do you think did it right?
Empire Strikes Back.
Terminator 2.
Yeah, that's a good. Terminator 2 is good because that was completely different. Now the Terminator's defending him. Like that's a good
Yeah.
sequel.
Terminator 1 and 2 were both incredible. I haven't seen any of the others.
The first one was pretty good, actually. Yeah, you're right. I think the second one is better than the first, honestly. I remember, like, the first one freaked me out when I was little. Like, the end when, like, it's just like the Terminator. Like, you can just see his, like, skeleton. Like, the robot parts of him. Like, just seeing that thing, like, come after you. That was the scariest part.
Have you ever seen Spirited Away?
I don't know if I want to. What's it about?
Okay. Colin is like I guess he was like a big anime fan back in the day.
It's anime?
It is anime.
I'm not watching
I
anime.
think we talked about this
I
before.
did talk about this. Yeah.
You
And
think he was a weeaboo?
I think he was.
Do you think
See, he
that's
strikes
where-
me as the type of guy that was really into 9-inch nails.
Anyways, no. I
I see him as the guy that flies around on the hoverboard or whatever. What
I
a one wheeler?
the one wheeler?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, one wheel.
A one wheel.
The one wheel.
Just zooming.
He's gotten really good at that. Like it's kind of it's intimidating.
Dude, it was like watching an anime, watching him zoom out. I mean, he was just like he was gone.
So what about this anime, Connor?
Okay. Yeah, I watched it as a kid. Freaked me out. Watched it later as an adult. Really good. I think you should watch it.
See, the only anime I watch is cute anime girls doing cute anime girl things
With tanks.
with tanks or instruments, as K-On!
Okay, but that's
It
fascist.
describes.
Or dragons.
Yeah, K-On! Is a fascist utopia.
Dragons.
Dragons.
No dragons.
Yeah, you know the dragons. River.
That's
what
just River.
Watches you demented.
No.
Weirdo. I can't take you.
Azumanga Daioh was also pretty good, but I only watched it because the one character, because she's from another part of Japan, she has a different accent. So how do they convert that to the English version? How do they convey that?
Can I take
They
a
give her a
guess?
southern accent.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess.
Yes, and that made the series worth watching to me.
Howdy, y'all. Is that considered Southern? Howdy, y'all.
I don't know.
That's how I
It's
talk.
changed so much, and ever since the invention of radio, television, and the internet, we've homogenized. Like
That's a good point.
a lot of accents have become more bland Midwest, which is because the newscasters or whatever they're called, they had the Midwest accent because it was considered the easiest to understand universally.
Now, this is a bit of a weird example, but Sabaton, like, I barely even noticed they have an accent. Like, their English is
You can hear it whenever he just talks.
some, but for a language like Swedish to English, you would expect a very thick.
Well, it's
heavy
because of
accent.
his vocal tone too. He has a very guttural, growly tone, and you can really hear it in his R's. How he
His R,
sort of
yes.
rolls
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
R's. He somewhat has a Swedish accent whenever he sings, but it works because it's a very aggressive singing. So the harsher consonants of Swedish carry over to English in that context very well.
Well, guys, I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
Oh, finally.
Guys, well, real quick, I need to do a quick explanation here, guys. Tim, please let us on the podcast. Listen, please. It's I don't want to be on the
Tim will sing
podcast.
for you.
Tim. We will do a. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you.
Tim contacted
No,
you?
I saw my girlfriend, and then like she was saying about like a band or something, and I'm like, I'm part of a band, and she goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had a band," and she's like, "No, you didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, I did," and she goes, "I don't believe you." And like, you never mentioned this before, and I'm like, "Yeah, I have we have T-shirts made up," and she was like, "No, you don't," and I'm like,
No, you don't.
"So." Ethan, I need you to just say, yeah.
What does she think of transgenders?
I don't know. I don't ask these things.
Okay, I was going to say, because you should show her my music, which is very anti-transgender.
Yeah, I don't think she would like that music. I don't know.
Just say you were part of it, I guess. It was like, yeah, this is my band.
This is my band. Ethan, I just need you to say, yeah. We had a band.
We did. I never interact with her.
No, just right now, because she'll probably listen to this.
Okay. Yeah, that's
She'll
fair.
listen to like all 4 hours of
No,
this.
she does.
Why? Why does she put herself through this?
I don't know why she does it.
She's
I
lying
think
to
she
you.
just
Why do
loves
you
me
do it?
very dearly.
She listens to like the first 5 minutes and then skips to the last 5 minutes.
No,
and that
she
is all
doesn't, because
listens
she
to.
picks up on things in the middle. Like,
No way.
no, because the one episode we were talking about my one ex-girlfriend's glasses, and she was like, I heard you talked about her, and I'm like, dude, you actually do listen to the whole podcast.
No, she does. I don't believe
Oh my
it. That
God.
was one.
She listened to my whole
Well, now she
podcast.
does.
We're going to do a test. If you listen to this, we are at exactly
See,
2
no,
hours,
listen.
20 minutes. If she listened to it, she listened to that much.
Okay,
she's
but
skipping ahead
she's
to
gonna
that
listen to
list.
this last bit.
I don't think she will, honestly.
So you're saying that she won't listen to the entire podcast?
Okay, we'll do a test. We'll do a test. Okay, we'll see what conversations she brings up, because
She's gonna hear this and she's gonna jump through the rest of the podcast and just kind of pull out talking points to try.
She's gonna hear this and then she's gonna listen.
So I
to
hear
it.
you're anti-Semitic.
So, do you believe that the Titanic sank? You might hate Jewish people. Wouldn't that be something?
Do you think that there's that Adolf Hitler escaped to Agartha, the center of the earth?
No, but like imagine like you like give your kids some doubt that the Titanic didn't sink, and then suddenly like they get sent home, and it's like your son, he's becoming a Nazi. He doesn't believe the Titanic sank. It's like this plot, and it's like, yeah, see, the Nazi Party was around in 1912, and they went and they stole the Titanic, and they turned it into a flying boat, and they flew
There's a
it.
kid at school who believed that the
Antarctica.
Titanic got shot by a torpedo, and that's why it sank.
Why?
I don't know. He had a whole story for it too. I was like,
What, did he think that the Germans did it?
There was some like rich dude shot over the submarine that was below the
no.
ocean.
Elon Musk
hiding.
went back in time.
privately
Check
owned,
this out.
Privately owned submarines sinking privately owned cruise ships.
No, I believe
Incredible.
Greta Thunberg went and sent the iceberg there. Like, she went back in time. 'Cause she's a time traveler. You know she is.
Yeah.
Look at me in
I
the
know
eyes and
she's
tell
a
me
time
Greta
traveler.
Thunberg is not a time
All
traveler.
right, wrap
Have
this
you
up.
seen her lately?
I'm
It's
wrapping
because
this-
she's in another time.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
take sole responsibility of wrapping
I'm
this
leaving.
up.
Okay, guys, go ahead and
No, I
like
wanted to do
and
this.
share this episode.
Like
If you
and share
want-
this episode.
If you want more episodes
don't-
with Connor, go
no.
ahead and comment Coner in the
don't
comments.
do that.
Yes, please do that.
No. I think I'm on like how many what percentage of episodes have I been on so
A lot.
far? A good many.
I don't know.
65% of the episodes.
Because
At least 13%.
Oh, ooh, that's a good percentage there.
I want to. Next episode, we can further discuss Mel's Hole.
No, we're not
No.
going back.
I
to
want
Bill's
you
Hole.
to
I'm leaving
I'd
get-
like
now.
to go into my spiel about demons
Nope.
at some
We'll
point.
talk
Leaving.
about that too. Okay, guys, go ahead and have a good one. Remember, the Picklebear podcast members all love you, and have a good night.
We don't love